Game Player episode 92, third time's the charm, I guess. No, very quick. So, because of technical difficulty, this is the third time we're starting the stream. Beforehand, we were talking for 30 minutes and there was no audio. Shout out to OBS for that one. Um, Very quick, we're gonna go over what we've been playing and then we're gonna jump into the topic. Apologies to chat. But yeah, Weep, happy birthday. What you been playing?
Yeah, it wouldn't be a Game Slayer podcast if we didn't have technical difficulties. So,
Precisely. You said it.
Very true.
You said it,
I
Weep.
mean,
You said it.
I mean, we've never had a podcast where we had no technical difficulties. You can look it up. Um, Thank you for the birthday wishes. And yeah, so summary, I'm old now. And what I've been playing, I've been playing Like a Dragon, The Man Who Erased His Name. Just finished the main story. I'm now continuing with the premium adventure to get the plat, which is unlike other Yakuza games, might be actually attainable for me this time around. Great game, by the way. It's a traditional Yakuza game, so real-time combat. It's really polished. Looks great and really hits hard if you've played Seven, and it's definitely sort of the in between adventure that sets up Yakuza 8, or what's called Infinite Wealth, and yeah, it's a shorter adventure, but it's also priced accordingly. I also played RoboCop Rogue City, which I paused to start with Like a Dragon. We'll continue that after I've platted this game, because that's also was getting quite interesting. And played with Mario Odyssey. And to celebrate my midlife crisis, I bought an Xbox Series X. Um,
I feel sorry for you.
yes, you should, you should. Though on the bright side, I haven't turned it on yet, so it's already gathering dust. Um, but yeah, to rest assure the audience, no, I've not gone over to the dark side. It was on sale. I've said before that I would get one down the line, and it sort of seemed like as good a point in time as any, since it probably wasn't going to get any cheaper, and seemingly the next Xbox going to be all digital.
All
So
digital, yep.
yep. So I thought, let's get it. Then I can at least play those, those bangers from the 360 era and Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon, which are orphaned on the 360. And I know I'll probably rip off Phil for a cheap Game Pass subscription at some point to get all those Xbox classics that I've never played because I've never owned an Xbox before, and then cancel it just like a Netflix subscription, and then probably it will gather dust properly until they actually release a proper game at some point in the future, uh, maybe 2036 or something. And yeah, was that quick enough, Omar?
Yeah, that was very quick.
Yeah, I was about to
Shout
say
out to you.
you can then you know find the loophole and talk about how you paid up your subscription till 2030 and how Game Pass cost you nothing.
Oh no, Xbox cut that promotion off real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
I can now officially say I'm a true neutral gamer because I own all platforms.
Oh
you
man,
Oh,
I'm gonna tell you when I
you
get
are
an Xbox, I'm saying it.
genuinely
I'm
you
gonna
are
be neutral. I'm gonna be neutral.
you are genuinely Xanos, eh? You have the Infinity Stones, all of them combined.
Yes, I,
So
I,
you can't tell me nothing.
I now have the license to talk shit about Xbox.
As you should. You're like,
Oh,
I got
let's
the blue one,
I'm gonna
go.
have to
the
get K.
red
I'm gonna
one,
have to
and
get
the green one.
K to make that up. The license to talk shit, and it's just gonna be an
Let's
image of all of
go.
them.
Uh, Nobody can tell
So,
me that I'm biased.
are they
You're just
gonna be
gonna
more
just
mad at you
They're
or
gonna be
my
like, bro, do
Steve?
you even have an Xbox? And we're gonna pull it out like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Like,
yeah.
bro,
I
Yeah.
got my
Yep.
license, bro.
I got my
Do
license.
I?
I can talk shit. Sue me.
Ah, I
So
love it.
who's gonna be mad more at you or Mighty Keith?
Oh man, Mighty Keith.
Mm,
They love to be
mm.
mad at that man right now.
He shredded them. But enough about that. Morgan, how are you? What you been playing?
I'm good.
Also
Sorry, I was
eating.
eating. My bad.
Oh, yep.
You got me mid chew.
I
My
love it.
bad.
I love it.
Oh man.
This episode is cursed, isn't it?
My bad.
You
Okay.
good? You good?
Yeah, we good.
Um,
Good.
but okay. So we're gonna go through this quickly. I played and beat Alan Wake 2. Enjoyed the game. 8.5. Um, if you are an Alan Wake fan, definitely play it. Pick it up. You maybe wait. I have a feeling they're gonna release a physical. I just feel it just after this whole Game of the Year nomination and everything and the
They
hype.
might. Yeah.
And I feel like they're gonna get increased sales because of it. I feel like they'll eventually go physical with this game, but we'll see. Um, played, platinumed, A Space for the Unbound. It's an indie. I think it's on PS Plus. If not, I know it'll probably be on sale for Black Friday. That was another really good game. If you're an indie fan, definitely pick it up. Also, played and beat another indie called Far Changing Tides. I don't know. I get on like an indie run whenever I beat a couple AAAs. I just need to cleanse with some indies. So
Cleanse the
that was
palate a
another
bit.
one. Yeah, cleanse the palate a little bit. Um, played and beat that one. I'm also playing Weird West. It's
So
good.
how is that?
It's good. Um,
That is
I
on PlayStation Plus.
yes, that one was. I think it was last month for October or something like that, or September. But yeah, if you've been picking up your PS Plus, you should have it. But I enjoy it. It's still in those little top-down little action games. It's got different protagonists, so it's like different acts. Like Act 1 is one protagonist, Act 2 is a different one. Um, I've only finished the first act, so I've only played with one protagonist, so I don't really know about I think there's like 4 other ones, so I don't really know what the rest of the story entails. But the first one was really good, so I really enjoyed it. I like the combat system and the different skills and the skill trees that you can get in that game. It's pretty good. Also play the other Far game. I told you I played the Far Changing Tides. That was the second game, and then I realized there was a first game, so I went and played the first one, and that one was good too. And now I'm on like my 5th indie, and I'm playing Dredge. That's really good. That one I know is up for nomination for like
Nice.
best
So you're
indie.
enjoying Dredge?
I am. I'm enjoying it. Didn't know I could have that much fun on a little tugboat, but it's fun.
Drifting in your tugboat, because
Yeah.
Is it on
family.
PlayStation Plus or?
No, it is not.
No, but it is on
Okay.
sale though. It is on sale for Black Friday, so who
Okay.
wants to pick it up? Yeah, Nate and Fox and Kay and Saint just have been watching me play it,
Nice.
watching me rage a little bit when I get frustrated. But
Is it
it's
difficult?
good. No, I wouldn't say it's difficult. It's just it's one of those games where you gotta make sure you have to level up your boat. There's a lot of level up stuff that you got to do, and a lot of you need a lot of money to get certain parts for your boat so that you can complete certain missions and stuff like that. So it just takes time, but it's not hard.
Uh-huh.
But I'm enjoying it, and I think I'm almost done. I feel like I'm like 80% through the game, but
Yeah, sounds about
yeah,
right.
I can see why a lot of people like this game. Um, the cast of characters that I'm, meeting on the different islands are they're very weird and very what's the word I'm looking for? They're really extra. just just over the top crazy. A little, they're a lot of them are a little crazy. But there's a deep underlying story as to why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm sure that's what the ending is going to reveal for me. But I'm intrigued enough to continue and figure out the mystery of why I washed up here and why I'm helping these people. So yeah, that's
Gotcha.
basically it.
Okay. And Nate, how are you, man? What you been playing?
Yeah, I'm good. Honestly, it's probably say better what I haven't been playing. I've been all over the place trying to organize games that I have started, uh, that I can finish up before the end of the year, because that's the goal right now. We actually trying to finish our games out here, unlike certain fan bases.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
Oh man.
50% didn't finish the first part. We're gonna talk about that. I'm I'm
yeah,
I'm 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 losing my mind about that one, but yeah, go ahead.
yeah, but
Media buyer.
yeah, they not completing
The
things,
Xbox
but
tax, huh?
yeah, but want that goty. But yeah, no, still been playing Sea of Stars. I'm getting through it. I whatever it is, it's just bit by bit, man. I don't know. I'm just at
Is
that
it a
point.
slog to play it? Cause I played it and I loved it, and I'm curious if it's for you a slog or it's
I mean,
just not enough
I'm
time.
liking it. I just the pacing and the areas I'm in right now is just weird. It's very like up and down. Um, so it's just like I think like when I get a little bit further, like when I get more open, like I have the ship now like officially. So now I'm getting to that, really that the meat of a JRPG, when you finally get your ship or your flying ship or your whatever
Yeah.
and they really kind of let you go. I think that's when I'll be full speed. But it's just it's so many other distractions right now, and I think that's also part of it. Like if I would have played it, in tandem when Morgan had played it, that I would have probably played it at a faster pace. But like right now, I really got heavy into Star Ocean, the second story. So now I'm like neck deep in that right now, and I don't think that story is very long, based on the time frame I've seen it took other people to beat it. So I'm like extremely over leveled, which is fun for me because too many games have been limiting that lately. Which also that's another thing that annoyed me when I figured out that level 30 was the max level on Sea of Stars, and I'm because I'm famous for wanting to over level. Like I just I rather beat the brakes off of anything I come across. Um, and the second story definitely allows you to do that craziness because it's an older JRPG. You can get all the way to level 255, which I thought was pretty funny.
What level
Um,
are you?
level 255.
Yeah.
yeah,
This dude
yeah,
went.
yeah. I waited for a reason because I knew there would be something that could help me level extremely quickly, and I was right, and I found it. Uh, so yeah, I'm like extremely over leveled, which is fun for me. And then what else? I'm also playing through Super Robot Wars, the alternate route, Super Robot Wars 5 or V. It's not really 5, it should be V, is what it is. I'm playing through that again, the alternate route that I didn't play, which is amazing, as per usual. Because I love that series, an amazing SRPG series. Um, and then honestly, I think I want to say that's it, but I'm sure there's more. But yeah, and obviously watching Morgan play Dredge because that whole thing is funny and
Mm.
awesome to watch. So, but yeah, I think that's about it right now. I'm definitely planning
Okay.
on getting to some more stuff, but I think that's what I'm actually playing.
Mm-hmm. So, shout out again to you for hosting. As for me, okay, so I've gone through a little bit of stuff. So, first of all, I bought a PC controller so I can play PC again with an 8 pass. Um, I played Jusant. It's. I thought it was only on Xbox, but it's also on PlayStation. It's almost like an Uncharted game in the sense of it's all about the climbing, but you climb with your left and around right what we call it triggers, and you need to hold your triggers in order to climb. It's it's very janky. The story is there. I enjoyed it for what it is. I give it like maximum 6 out of 10. I played way better indies than this one. The next game on the list that I played, and this is why I love people that are passionate. I don't care which platform you are. Um, uh, Watching anime was innate. He introduced me to Initial D and we were watching through it at season 3. He started talking about Mass Effect and how it's amazing. And he told me he beat it like 38 times or something like that. I already tried to play Mass Effect and I got bored through it because the combat wasn't very fulfilling for me, the first one. And he told me go through it. The second one's way better, so I did. I beat the first one. I beat it on not Revenge, the other one, Paragon. Um, Tally for the win. I'm dating Liara. Um, I'm curious what they're gonna do with the second one. I enjoyed what I played, and I have the second and third one, but like I'm trying to if I play a game and especially a franchise, I play something else to balance it out. So I'm playing. Oh my god, I hate this game. Ni no Kuni 2. I love the first Ni no Kuni. I'm not sure if I first finished it or not. Like my mind is hazy about that. My memory is hazy about that. But I do remember playing Ni no Kuni 1 and I love Ni no Kuni 1. I played Ni no Kuni 2 beforehand and I didn't enjoy it whatsoever. I'm playing it right now and I'm pushing myself through it. Like I'm playing it on the hard difficulty because hard give you better loot and I'm all about the loot. And it's not that I'm having fun per se, but it's on my backlog and I want to finish it. And after it, I'm gonna go back to all the games that I haven't played before. I'm finished it yet. Crosscode and also Dot Hack GU games. But enough about us. Let's jump to the topic. But before I do so, where are my manners? Let me shout out chat. So first of all, shout out JWAG. We have Morgan and Nate. They don't count. Shout out to Seafresh, always present Seafresh, and yeah, let's jump in. Just to make sure, you guys hear me?
The audio is fine.
Okay. Just because you guys been so quiet, so I was afraid that something happened to the audio or something like that. Um. So first topic, which is going to be finishing your game. Should that count when talking about a game being successful or not? So, um, we all have heard of a little game called Hi-Fi Rush. So, according to the data, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just nodding. Yes, we heard of it.
Yeah.
So, according to the data, and this is from True Achievement. So this is a news and updates and chatter from TrueAchievement.com. So the world leading Xbox community. So there is zero bias, there is zero console war, and then there is zero misinformation. And so this is not a hate piece. According to the data, less than 50% of Hi-Fi Rush Xbox players have managed to beat the first level, potentially missing some of the best part of his action rhythm game. So, shout out to Jaywalk. He says he put out a tweet with a picture of the final boss, what you call it, percentage. 12.75 gamers unlocked this, which is just beating the final boss, not even getting the achievement. Shout out to Fresh calling it what it is, pathetic. Uh, and this is the comment that I'm gonna read that I've seen multiple people say. The levels are simply too long. Got boring after a few times. I decided enough was enough once it asked me to do perfect blast deflect to advance. Damn!
Mm-mm-mm.
Look, I played the game and I did poorly. Why? Because I played with my PlayStation controller and I had to use, I had to watch Xbox. Wait, what?
I done told you about playing on your PC with the PlayStation controller, sir.
I can't. I
Listen,
can't.
you did that to yourself. You ain't got nobody to blame but yourself
No,
for
no,
doing that.
no, 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 no. I am Bethesda to blame
Not
because
Bethesda.
because indie games have PlayStation prompt. Indie games.
Sir, it is an Xbox
It's
owned
an
game now.
Xbox game, though.
You can't do that. You
Yeah.
can't. That would be like an Xbox fan being like, "Nah, bro, I should be able to play God of War with my Xbox controller." Like, no, bro,
No, no,
like this
no, no,
game
no.
was meant.
No, that has nothing to do. No, I don't know about Bethesda. Indie games like it's iffy.
Sir,
Some
what does it a game being indie have to do with the PlayStation controller?
because button prompts is something that should be a thing for any game. Doesn't matter which platform it is, a PlayStation or Apple controller. If I connect my controller to PC, it
Sir,
should
you are
recognize what.
playing an Xbox game, sir. I don't know why you won't get an Xbox controller for your PC. Like that's the most
Because
commonly used
I
mapped
hate
controller.
I hate
See,
the
then you
what
can't blame the game for that.
no, I actually can play game again.
No,
Indie
you
game
cannot. I'm still confused on why the indie part is so important to your argument.
because if an indie game can
Okay.
allow for a button prompt, PlayStation button prompt, then Microsoft shouldn't have an issue with it.
That doesn't make sense,
Especially
but
when
okay.
people playing on PC. Like I'm playing on PC. PC is an open platform. It
Hmm.
So you need
shouldn't.
to specify when playing on PC.
What do you mean?
You you kept saying it, no, regardless of platform or whatever, but you need to specify. You mean when playing on PC, the game should have both button prompts available. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, I'm
But
just making it
doesn't but
clear.
doesn't Hi-Fi Rush like tell you that it should be used with the Xbox controller?
It doesn't tell you that it should be, but like there's an issue with it recognizing anything else besides an Xbox controller. Like in
Mm.
order to get it to even recognize a PlayStation controller, you have to use like one of the side like DSX or something to basically fake the controller being recognized as an Xbox controller to get it to work basically.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did all that for his controller, I'm assuming.
He got it enough to work, I guess. But yeah,
Mm.
but I had to do that for mine in order to get it to recognize my DualShock.
So Omar, you
Yeah.
fought with that game with the DualSense, knowing it was gonna be a struggle, and you did it anyway.
Absolutely.
And I beat it.
Omar,
And
see,
I beat it. I sucked with
Oh,
a lot
I
of.
didn't know you beat it though.
No, I beat it. I beat
I
it.
swear, Omar, you put yourself through needless, like just unnecessary torture, like for no
No,
reason.
no. Why did I do that, sir? Because I don't have an Xbox controller. Two,
But you could have bought one though, because you got
no,
you
but
got a PlayStation controller for your PC
my
when you should have got an Xbox controller.
my issue with Xbox controller is the analog. I can't handle different analog. Like
Oh
I am,
man, oh
I
Omar,
am,
nah.
I am genuinely programmed on PlayStation. Like
We not doing
everything.
that, Omar. Nah.
I haven't touched an Xbox controller yet.
That would take you all of 10 minutes to get used to
Bruh,
that.
that
It's not that big of a difference.
that is the biggest argument from Xbox dudes about this whole up and down shit
Yeah,
with the controller. I can
I've never
switch,
noticed it.
but yeah,
I've
I
never
can
noticed
switch
it.
between the two easily. Hell, you did it when you played Pentiment or whatever,
Yeah.
and when you played other stuff. Like I was like, that's not an issue. Like I never got that. Like the stick being up, like because I have the
Slightly.
pro,
Yeah.
yeah, I have the pro controller for my Nintendo Switch, and it's like that. So I was like, that's not.
But
Uh-huh.
yeah, but if you experience that, that's no issue for you then. But for me, I haven't touched a single analog beside a PlayStation, so I
I
So
don't
you
think you're
even
just
know.
so
making
you
it
don't
harder.
know. You
Yeah, you
don't
don't
know because you
know.
haven't tried it.
Yeah,
I don't
I think
even know
you're
how it's gonna
overestimating
feel.
it.
You're assuming that you wouldn't like it because you haven't tried it, but you don't know.
It's not a matter. It's not a matter of just not
we,
liking. It's a
we're
matter
talking
of
about controllers, right?
Oh man. Look at see what
what
Xbox
did
got
he
us doing.
say?
Oh my
What
look,
did he say, Weeb?
he said we're talking about controllers. I said, you see what Xbox got us doing right now? We're talking about damn controllers.
Yeah, that was their
Oh,
plan all along,
oh man.
sadly. But because Hi-Fi Rush is such a delicate game in the sense of you need to have the button prompt memorized, or else you're gonna suck at it.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's hard to do that when you got PlayStation buttons for an
I
Xbox game.
I had, especially there are certain areas where you need to launch yourself in the air,
Hmm.
and you need to do some sequences with either button matching or quick time events. That is so tedious if you never touched an Xbox controller. So tedious.
Mm-mm-mm.
I mean, this is
But
honestly why I recommend people when they do get a PC that they need to keep an Xbox controller separately for that. And not only that, but your
Hmm.
first one that you purchase needs to be the one that actually shows the colors on the Xbox controller. Like I have the 20th
Yeah,
edition.
the blue, red. Yeah.
Exactly. So a lot of special edition controllers like mine don't have the coloring, so you
Right.
can't, like, that helps you look at the control. This is a very realistic thing. When I had my original, it did. So I got very used to like the area, which don't get me wrong, like occasionally it'll say A or B or whatever, and I might have to double check once or twice when I first start the game, but eventually, you know what I'm saying, you get used to it. The difficult part is is honestly, and this is something I honestly get with people getting confused, because the buttons are like literally reversed on the controls, is if you play an Xbox game and then you switch to play a Nintendo Switch game, because they have the same um the same alphabet or whatever on the controls, but they're
Yeah.
swapped. So
Yeah, they're different. Yeah.
yeah. So I completely get why people get confused with that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I
But
get you.
anyway, so how did you like the game, Omar? You say you didn't like it?
hi-fi,
Yeah,
I
high
give
Yeah.
it
five.
like a six and a half out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Okay. So
damn.
that's your pony rating. Oh, okay. Got you.
Um, one, I agree with the sentiment that levels are way too long, and the other issue I agree with is there are certain things once you miss them, you can't get back. You need to play the entire level all over again just to get a certain what we call it
Achievement. What are you talking about?
uh not achievement, stuff, an upgrade for your upgrade,
Oh.
which upgrade are costly. I will say this though, there are tons, and I mean shit tons of skill to invest into, and the game allow you to play the game however you want. You wanna be defensive, you can block and parry. You wanna be offensive, there is shit ton of offensive moves that you can use. So shout out to them for that one. The humor is off the chart with this one. Like I had so fun with the humor in this game. Um, so and another thing, the characters for me is what made the game. Great character, amazing personality, every single one of them funny. Um, to skip spoilers, just every single character you meet is entertaining. It has some Metrovania aspect to it, but it's connected to your level. So let's say you're at level 1, you see something that you know at level 10, you're gonna go back to it and unlock it or something like that. Shout out to J-Wog, he called it what it is. The platforming was dog shit. The jump mechanic is so terrible. If you like, I understand this is a rhythm game and it's an action game at the same time. Stick to one because then you're gonna have one of the worst jump mechanic, one of the worst dodge mechanic, which is um um with the if you don't dodge on time, you actually get hit and die, and the movement was very slow. So very quick. I went on a tangent.
No shit.
50% of people that played Hi-Fi Rush didn't even beat the first game. Like, not even the first level. Yet the studio said that it was successful. What do
Yeah.
you measure success now? Is it
You
play
said
based?
what was the percentage? What did you say?
50%. And only 12% beat the final boss.
Oh, it's less than 50%, isn't it?
Give me a second to make sure. Less
But
than 50%, my bad.
yeah, there you go. That's what I thought.
And mind you, this is not PC players, this is Xbox strictly players.
No, that so it's not. It's everybody.
Oh, why
Yeah,
is it
so
said on Xbox?
because true achievements is just that. So anybody who played it via this is PC Game Pass players specifically is what I'm saying, is what I mean. So I would be in that number because I played it
Um,
via Game Pass. So who it does not
uh-huh.
count is people who played it on Steam.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, so
By
that's
the
what
way,
you mean rather.
okay. By the way, J-Lock, I haven't touched Pentiment, but I do want to try it out. Because I know Morgan played it and she enjoyed it.
Yep.
Pentiment was great.
One of the few people again who rather than just talked about the game actually played and beat the game because that's what we do over here.
And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
people talk about Hi-Fi Rush for GOTY nomination, yet they even haven't even beat the first level.
Some people got a day in that game, a day of gameplay, time allotted, and still haven't beat the game, which is why, which for the moment brings me back to my point about people leaving their damn consoles on, building up time on games to claim they're playing them. I keep telling people this is a thing. I keep telling people, and people thought it was a joke. I'm telling you, these people be leaving their consoles on to
Oh yeah,
accumulate time so they could be like, "Oh, I played this game for 4 or 5 days." No, you haven't. You're
yeah.
lying.
I know a name. Can I say it? Can I say it? Can I say it?
Of course,
Team Dog.
absolutely.
This dude got exposed. How you gonna say you're loving what you call it, Starfield. Yet you put out the same numbers that you were playing last week.
Yeah, he played it again, but generated no new time.
Yo, this dude must have found a cheat hack. Yo, I'm looking at this game. A photo. It's looking amazing.
It does look amazing.
My bad. But, and this dude is Captain Xbox, championing Xbox.
Look, this is what it ultimately comes down to. Yes, like them saying it's a success because X amount of people played it or started it. That's fine. They can measure it however the hell they want. But the reality is, all that praise and all that hype and all that it should be game of the year nonsense don't mean shit when the majority of people who played it didn't even get past the first level. So clearly the game wasn't as amazing or great as they thought. Um, like that's just the reality. Like the numbers don't lie. That's hard data. That's hard facts. I know they don't like that. They hate the facts because the facts often go against whatever the rhetoric is they like to put out there. But that's just it, right? Like, I mean, we don't have to fluff things up or sugarcoat anything when it comes to Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Everybody can see the numbers. You can see the number of people that, number one, got the platinum. Um,
What,
and
60% or 50%, I think?
it's high.
It's high.
It's high as
Yeah,
hell.
it's 50% completed it, which is
Completed, yeah.
definitely unheard of.
This is completion, and this is, mind you, this is an open world game.
Absolutely. Which again,
they
you
completed it.
don't have to do all that. Even Rob, who is a developer
at
for
Band Studio.
PlayStation Ben Studios right now. He got his first ever platinum with Spider-Man. So that was his first period. Like he doesn't go for them. He didn't have any. Like that's what I'm talking about. When a game can drive you truly to experience all of it, to me personally, that is a success. And that's the kind of stuff that I talk about when I talk about how much I really enjoyed a game. When a game can really drive people to want to do everything, that is what I consider great game design. But also at the same time, it respects your time. Like these again are design philosophies I talk about a lot that I really, really appreciate, that don't get enough love. This combination of respecting your time and a truly well-designed game shows when people, number one, want to do everything in your game and are doing so into completion. This is that's an that to me that is an incredible, amazing achievement, um, because it just shows how well designed and balanced the game was. That people didn't feel like they had to go out of their way. They didn't feel put out or whatever, about trying to complete this game to 100%. That's incredible. Lots of games just are not able to do that. So to me, shout out to the Insomniac team for that achievement. That was incredible. Getting a game that was that tightly developed, an open world game at that so many people have loved and enjoyed. Like that's an incredible achievement. And yeah, like you said, that spoke to, even like you said in Hi-Fi Rush, some of the levels are too long, stuff like that. There's so many things that, again, like I said, a lot of people don't understand from a design perspective with games. And you may like something and that's fine, but like to point out the flaws in certain things, that could be a major flaw in that game that you'll never really hear people talk about, right? Like hearing the levels were too long is the first time I'm hearing that is when you brought that up just now. Like all the other people were too busy praising it to say anything negative about it. And that's again, that's another big difference between us and them. The majority, and by them I mean Xbox fanboys, not Xbox fans, because I'm definitely homies with a lot of Xbox fans who definitely keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? They tell the truth about the games that they play, and they complete their games just as well. So, yeah, man, just people severely underestimate a great design game, which is something I just think some people have gotten accustomed to not getting. so it doesn't get enough praise these days.
Yeah, shout out to J-Wав. He said more people got the platinum in Spider-Man 2 than hit level 10 in Starfield.
Facts. And again, something I pointed out, by the way, because I've actually completed Starfield, um, just like shy of two things from 1,000 points. That's such a weird thing to say, but yeah, one of my biggest gripes, and one of the biggest gripes from people I know that actually played the game and also completed it, was the leveling was imbalanced in that game. It took too long to level once you got to a certain point, which is why, again, that is a bad design philosophy of something that they missed in that game, which is why you see a lot of people either taking forever, or a lot of people will not hit the higher levels. And this was something that I brought up with Omar the other day, which it's not exclusive to their game. Lots of games do this. But you'll see, I brought this up. Some of the highest rated or highest viewed YouTube videos for a lot of games where levels are involved is always how to level faster. Like 2 times XP, 10 times XP, this, that, and the third. Do this trick to
Or
double
money
your
glitch.
XP. Yeah, or money glitches. Like, that goes to show you, like, something is the economy in your game design is imbalanced, or there is an issue when people feel that they need to go out of their way to do that, and that is not that is not a design of the game, right? Again, not something I ever had to look up or care about in Spider-Man, because
I
again,
was literally
it was
about to tell you.
perfectly balanced. That again,
I
high achievement.
Sorry, but go ahead.
No. I was done. Yeah, I was just saying that's just such a high achievement, again, that people underestimate. When a game is so perfectly balanced that you don't have to go out of your way and you can just play and enjoy the game, that to me is as close to a perfectly designed game as you can get.
Did
Like,
you look up anything on for anything leveling up related for Spidey too?
not at all.
Me
Not once.
neither. Were you ever frustrated with the game it not working or whatsoever?
Nope.
Were you ever frustrated with the level difficulty, the level spike, the difficulty spike all of a sudden is out of whack or out of order or whatsoever?
No, I felt like that was perfectly escalated, and I played on the slightly above. So I played on the difficulty right below the hardest difficulty.
hmm So, is it fair to say that Spider-Man 2 checked every boxes?
When it comes to game design, absolutely. They knocked it out of the park.
Yo, Nate, what is this game? Another game that's looking epic, a Kaido.
Yeah, no, you're freaking out about all the game stuff. That's why it's up there.
Sorry.
Don't worry, Morgan does it too.
Morgan, I haven't forgot about you, but you're gonna cap because you're in bot. Go ahead, bot.
Oh wow.
Now for real though, what's your thought on what's going on?
Wait, what was? Because y'all kind of went on a tangent. What was the original question?
No, what that less than 50% beat the first level in Hi-Fi Rush 2. Hi-Fi Rush.
And what
mean-
constitutes success? Because they
Yeah.
said it was successful.
Yeah, I mean, y'all know Xbox's definition of success is different than everybody else's. They do player count and how many people clicked start and how many people jumped from building A. We had 60 people pet the cat, so that's yeah. Congratulations, Hi-Fi Rush. Like, this is no disrespect to Hi-Fi Rush because I have not played the game, but I plan on playing it. Whenever I get an Xbox or maybe on GeForce Now or something. I just don't want to play it on the cloud. It's a rhythm game, so I can't have any lag when it comes to that game. But yeah.
Wait, you first don't have it?
She's just
No,
not.
GeForce-
She's not sure.
No, I said I'll either play it on Xbox or GeForce. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was saying I don't want to play it on XCloud because like there's a lot of lag on XCloud, and I don't.
Yeah, I have that. I have the feeling you might not enjoy it.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. It looks like
You're
something
not that much
up
of a
my alley.
fan of action game, right?
Wait, what? What? I'm not
I
a fan
thought
of
you're not.
action games.
that much of a fan. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, you're definitely wrong on that, sir.
Okay.
I play a lot of action games. What?
Okay. Then
Oh,
I'm
But
curious how you're gonna.
Jesus
you know,
Christ.
you see how he talks to me? Oh man.
Yeah. He does the same to me, Morgan.
But yeah, like so it's kind of hard for me to say what went wrong or whatever with or well what necessarily didn't get Xbox players to reach that 50% because like we have to be careful with that because Spider-Man 2 is it was as far as getting a 50% completion rate, that's like an outlier. Like that's very rare when it comes to video games. Like that's why getting something like 50 or even 40 is like
The only
seeing
game that I know about is Last of Us 2.
Last of Us 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very rare for a game to get that high of a completion rate. Most games fall between like the 20 to 30% completion rating. So, but that speaks more. It speaks less on Hi-Fi Rush's inept, you know, ineptitude and more on Spider-Man 2 success. Like about how well, like you guys were speaking, how well they designed the game. It speaks more volumes about how well Spider-Man 2 was designed and how good. Like, because I'll give you an example. My sister, she finished Starfield. She bought a Series S to play Starfield. She enjoyed it. She gave it a 7 out of 10. I mean, for her, she tells me a 7 out of 10 from her is good. That's her. In her,
She said that's high praise.
That's high praise coming from her. Yeah, because when I told her, or because we have a group, me and my siblings have a group chat, a group text, and she was very distraught that Starfield was not in the game of the year mentions. She was like, "Why?" And I was like, "I was like, but you gave it a 7 out of 10, so why does that matter to you?" And she was just like, "Well, 7 out of 10 is good for me." And I was like, "Oh, okay, my bad." And I was telling her, "Oh, well, Spider-Man's in there," and she was just like, "Man, Spider-Man's overrated." Okay, that's what she said to me. And then I come home and to on my PS5, mind you, like she had just bought Modern Warfare 3 and she was supposed to be playing that, but she got distracted. She
Without
saw
you knowing, so that
yeah,
explains it. Okay, that explains what happened. Okay.
Yeah, so she saw Spider-Man 2 in the console. She's like, "Okay, I'm gonna try it." This girl, like, she would play it from the moment she got off of work to like time for her to go to bed, and then the next day she did the same thing. She did the same thing until she beat it. And I like she kept commenting to me,
too?
huh? Yeah, she finally beat it. I think she beat it earlier today. She finally, she kept commenting to me, "Oh man, this game looks so good. Oh man, it's like it's so smooth, plays so smooth. Oh man, like she's like, oh the gameplay mechanics, oh the swinging so fast." Like she just kept making little comments, and I was just I wasn't trying to push. I wasn't trying to say anything. I was just like, yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? And when she finished, she was like, oh, "Okay, I guess I can see why it's a game of the year considered." And I was just like, "Okay, what do you rate it?" She's like, "Well, out of superhero games, out of all superhero games, like she put it in a category. She's like, I probably give it like a 9.5." And I was like, "Oh, okay," because she played the Arkham series. She played the Arkham series too, so she's a big Batman fan. But she's like, if I had to like compare it to like all games, I'd probably give it like maybe like an 8.5. And I was like, "Okay, that's not bad. All right." And she was like, I was like, so how does it compare? Like, because you played Starfield earlier. She was just like, "I don't want to talk about it. I'm gonna leave you alone. I was like, all right, okay." But
you see, the greatness speaks for itself.
Yeah, I'm just like, because my sister, she's when it comes to her the type of game she likes, she's very particular about her games. She's kind of like an RPG-ish kind of player. She doesn't really like most of, like, she likes watching other people play PlayStation games, but she doesn't necessarily like to play them herself.
Oh, she is like almost like a backseat gamer. I see.
No, yeah. She games. She does game, but she plays games like she likes GTA. She likes Assassin's Creed. She likes Cyberpunk. She likes, she likes like RPG RPGs style games and sports games, and that's pretty much it.
And the COD campaign.
Yeah, in the COD campaign, like she will literally spend $70 on COD just to play that 4-hour campaign and never touch it again. But yeah, so it was very it's very rare. That's why I was so surprised when I caught her playing it. She doesn't really play PlayStation exclusives like that, and when she does, it's usually for like an hour or two, and then she gets bored and she drops it. So I so for me. Like when you guys were speaking on the game design, it kind of cemented and made me think about that, because it was the game design and the ease of it, and how it didn't feel like over cumbersome. It didn't feel like it didn't get boring. It didn't get just to a point where she didn't care to finish it anymore. Like she saw it through the entire way. She even did, like, this girl, she does not do side missions like that, guys. Like she's the kind of person that goes from like point A to Z. She don't like doing side missions. She doesn't like doing that kind of stuff. She just finishes the main campaign and moves on. I caught this girl. She was doing all the side. She was going around doing all the little Venom missions. She was going around, messing with the
puzzle.
Sandman and
yeah,
all
the
that.
puzzles. She was doing she was doing the little the plant puzzles. She was like, I was like, oh, you like the puzzles? Oh, the puzzles are fun. I was like, okay. She was doing like the little fire people, like she was doing all of that stuff, and I was like, I was like, you might end up getting the platinum by accident. Like, and that would, I think,
I would not be surprised if she did.
Yeah, no, I checked. Like, she got because she didn't do, of course, the fly from one point to the next point. I honestly think she only missed maybe 3 or 4 trophies from the platinum.
I knew that. Yeah. The one is gonna be visiting Uncle Ben or Uncle Mary, and the other one is the flying.
Yeah.
And maybe one where you can't get hit or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, she was doing the little side mission where you get the robot dog for the blind woman.
That
and
was
she was
cute.
like, she was like, oh, that's so sweet. I like that. She was just having a ball. Like, she was in there just like making her own sound effects while she was beating people up. Like, and she was acting up when she got that Venom suit. But like I don't want to ramble, but it kind of speaks to it when you can get somebody who's not really a fan of those type of games to not only play it but complete it. I think it speaks volume on Insomniac's ability for game design, and their ability to kind of keep you captivated and make you want to finish the game. Not just start it and be like, okay, well, I got to this level, or I got to this part of the campaign, but I'm done now. I'm finished. But she came back every day. Like, I was just like, kind of rolled my eyes, was like, damn, I can't get on my PlayStation because here she go. She done started Spider-Man up again. She's in there playing, and
it's almost as if Insomnia created the most friendly game out there for people to touch, at least this year.
But this leads into the other part about things that I talk about, right? When people ask about difficulty all the time, I said things don't have to be like that. Topic comes up a lot, right? Like, it has to be immaculately difficult, right? But the key here is that Morgan played on the hardest difficulty and had a ball. I played right below the hardest difficulty, had a ball, and her sister most likely played on normal and had a ball. Exactly. So it's like that's key. That's, again, another key about proper game design, right? Like, a game could be crazy flexible in that manner, and we all came out enjoying the hell out of it. Her sister was, the game forced her to still give it a crazy high rating, to the point where she didn't even want to talk about it in comparison to Starfield. Which, to be fair, based on the games that she plays, it's like that.
When you're doing side quests and you don't normally do side quests, that's how you know the game won you over. It's over.
She just kept swinging from cycle. I was like, okay, like, it's like, she was at least halfway through the game. And, I'm thinking, I was just kind of watching her for about like 20-30 minutes, and I'm thinking, okay, she's just going to go to the next main mission. She had her Venom suit or whatever. I think it was the part where you kind of have to give it back to Harry or whatever. And she just kept swinging around, like just doing all the side. I was like, oh, she's doing the Sandman missions, and she kept going from Sand. I was like, oh, you haven't, you like that, huh? She was like, yeah, it's good. And she just kept going, swinging around each area, doing each side mission, and I was just, she was having a good time, so I was happy for her.
Okay.
Weep.
We yeah, we went on a tangent with this one, but thoughts
No, but no,
on
but this is good though because this is
it is
it
good,
evolved
but we
it evolved into a conversation about the importance of game design, which is ultimately what we play. So it's super
yeah,
important. So yeah,
but he went silent for a long time. That's why I wanted him to talk.
Weeb's a really
So
big
we,
fan of this stuff,
what's
so
your
I get it.
thought?
He's ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah, do it, Weeb.
Do what? Jesus, right? Yeah, you guys went on a tangent there.
Oh, I'm sorry, Weeb. I apologize.
No, it's fine, it's fine. But the original question was a Hi-Fi Rush. Why does low completion rate or what?
Yeah. So Hi-Fi Rush have 50%, less than 50% completion rate. Main issue people said that, and this is multiple issue people, that the first level is way too, the levels are way too long. And shout out to Jaywag, he added that the platforming was junky, which it was,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
moved slow.
Okay,
So
okay. Yeah. Again, so yeah, um, it could be. I mean, yeah, like we all know, that particular gamer base doesn't finish their game, so there's a certain confirmation bias there, I guess. But yeah, I mean, level design certainly plays a role. I mean, if your game doesn't draw you in and sort of compels you to keep on playing, then yeah, I mean that's what you get. People will drop the game. So yeah, making your levels overly long or not fun at all. Like when you heard you guys talking about Spider-Man 2, I definitely agree that that's a game that's designed to keep you playing. That you just can't put down the control of that. That's the kind of game that that eats into your sleep. That makes you realize, yeah, I'm a gamer because I'll sacrifice my sleep and possibly productivity at my job, so I can finish that game quicker. I mean that that's a testament to good game design, and it's yeah, game design. I mean it's a very broad concept. Like it's level design, it's combat design, it's how intuitive the game is to pick up. It's sort of immersion and experience. I mean, it's sort of the full package. Like there's, and it depends, of course, on what kind of gamer you are. I mean, I guess the mainstream gamer just wants to, be able to just pick up a game and start playing and don't have to read a, 10-page tutorial or look up, a guide online every 10 minutes to make sure that they know how to progress the game. So I guess that's a thing. But yeah, like for me, I mean, personally, I love immersive narrative-driven games. So if you got that, that's already a way for me to keep me involved. Like, and yeah, sure, if you have a like bad gameplay design, bad level design, that could that could prevent me from maybe completing the game if it's just too frustrating to complete it, even if the story is good. Like that's sort of where everybody might become a YouTube gamer if there's a game, if there's a story that you're interested in, but you can't be bothered to go through the slog of playing the game. You might want to just that's your, let's say, your alternative. Um, but yeah, I mean, for me, like I can look past certain less polished gameplay aspects or level design aspects if it has a great story. I think that's sort of, but this is very specific to what kind of gamer you are. But yeah, getting back to it, yeah, I mean, I'm would certainly subscribe to the idea that game design, level design, a certain frustrating aspects of that might have influenced the completion rate of Hi-Fi Rush versus the completion rate of Spider-Man 2. Is that enough for you, Omar?
Yeah. It it so so I have a question for the panel, and then we're gonna move on. Um, do you think uh because they have the backing of Microsoft, they can be happy with the player count versus actual sales? Or do you think even them, they're gonna have a problem with it? Because when you're less than 50% of your player base didn't even beat the first level, like what does that say to you as a developer? It's
Hmm.
one thing to not
Um,
finish the game, but not beat the first level, mind you, first level.
I think I think Hi-Fi Rush was kind of still a success in its own right. Like I'm sure they had metrics since it's a smaller game. It's not, it's not AAA and it's not the big juggernauts. It was a surprise. You got to remember it was also a surprise release, so there was not really a marketing push behind it. And it was a passion project done, by the studio. So I'm sure they had their own kind of internal metric for what they deem for that game to be a success. Like I'm sure it's nowhere near the numbers of what they would expect from something like Starfield. Um, but from the way they talk about it and the fact that there was potentially like a DLC tease for it, I think they're happy with the reception for it. They know it at least got it it got its positive reviews. Right, it's one of the highest, if not the highest rated Xbox game this year.
Yeah, which I
It's got
think is
its
part of that success.
yeah, got its praise from developers and fans alike. The fans who did actually play it. Um, I think that they're going to continue with the franchise. I do think it was successful enough for them to, if not if it's not called Hi-Fi Rush 2 or whatever, but continue on that story and continue making those type of games, along with the games that they're Tango GameWorks is known for, the scary games that they're known for. But yeah, I do think they see it as a successful game, though. Yeah, they don't do, Xbox has moved away from sales now, and that's mostly because of the Game Pass model. So, their terms of their measurement of success is more like how many, most likely how many players come back, and how many gamers can we get to subscribe, like from the game. Like if this game is coming out, we see a spike in subscription numbers. Okay, like let's say Starfield contributed, I don't know, I'm just making up a number, like 100,000 people to subscribe to Game Pass. And if that's below or above what they expected, then it's a success or a failure. And I'm sure they've made a number, or they had a number in their head, like when they decided to shadow drop this game. I'm sure they had lower expectations because if you have big expectations for a game, you spend a lot of money on it, you're not going to shadow drop it, right? You're going to get the marketing push. You're going to make sure you build it up, let everybody know it's coming. You spend like Sony would never in their right mind like shadow drop Spider-Man 3, that's a game you need a big marketing campaign of. You need to let everybody in the world know Spider-Man 3 is coming to PS5 or PS6 or whatever, and it's exclusive. But this game, like I said, was shadow drop, so I don't think they really had too big of expectations for it. And from the way, because I think I forgot the insider who said that Hi-Fi Rush wasn't a success. I think it was like Jeff Grubb. He came out and tweeted that Hi-Fi Rush didn't meet the metrics that it was supposed to, like a few months ago. But then Aaron Greenberg came out of nowhere and was like, yeah, it actually did, and corrected him. And there was a whole back and forth with that. But apparently it did meet their metrics, so I guess they're happy with it.
Hmm. We thought. Do you think developers gonna be able to survive with Microsoft backing them, or even them, they're gonna have an issue with it?
Eventually, yeah. I mean, like sales isn't really much of a factor with the folks in Game Pass, but I mean, metrics, other metrics will matter then. Like if they see nobody's playing it, then it's not a worthwhile investment for them. It's not gonna draw in people to the platform. So I mean, if you're a studio that's making games that basically nobody is playing, I'm not saying like completion rate is necessarily means nobody is playing it, because if if they see that enough people are jumping on this game, they don't really care if people are dropping this, before they even finish the first level, as long as they have, uh, you know, they picked it up, and they play a little. And they got engagement numbers. Like they know, okay, people are talking about this. People might, either get or keep their subscription because this game is in there, and they don't really care if that game, is going to be complete. Like as a developer, I'd say developers probably do care, in a sense. Like you're putting like a lot of work in that. Like it sucks if you've created something and nobody really gets to see the ending of it, like gets to see all the work you put into that. So that definitely will sting to the people who made the game. But like the business aspect of it, like I don't think they care that much if you complete the game, but more so if the game draws in enough of an audience that it promotes their service. And if it's not doing that, like if it's just you could have the opposite, of course, if the game is like sucks or gives your platform like a bad rep. Like yeah, that's something you don't want. So I'd say like Game Pass, like the service model, offers a safety net in the sense that you don't necessarily need to sell well, or have to the traditional metrics don't really apply. But it's going to be an issue that like we see with the layoffs in the industry, and studios will eventually have to but will be close if they don't perform. I mean, Microsoft and Sony have done that in the past as well, and it's going to be some of these studios are not going to survive until the end. Some of these studios are eventually going to have to, basically pay or not pay up, but like that investment has to be someone has to make his money back, and if there's something that's not delivering, yeah, it's going to be gone. And that's just not to say that a studio like that could have couldn't have foreclosed, on his own if it were still independent and it just didn't create any hits. But the difference is that they're now not measured directly on the sales of the game, but on other metrics that they may not necessarily be able to fulfill. Like if Game Pass or the service models drives different game design, right? Like there were developers who were sort of explained as like for something like a servers, you want to have games that it's much easier to create like these procedural generated games that have like survival elements, like a certain type of game where you don't have to put in a lot of effort well, at least in that sense that you don't have to handcraft a lot, but allows you to get a lot of engagement in the sense that a lot of people will keep playing that game for a long time because there's a lot of content there but you're procedurally generating it, so it's not really it, will always have new or at least new levels, etc. So that might result in certain games being certain type of game being prevalent on a service like that. and that might force developers to develop in that way. And if that's not your thing, if you're not able to do that, or if you don't want to do that, then yeah, you might. If you don't have success in any other way, you might in the end, be forced to either get with the program or you're out, and that's so there will definitely be consequences eventually, but on different different areas, different criteria than traditional gaming.
Okay. Nate, you have anything to add or do we move on?
No, no, we're all good. Real quick, an inserter, because Thrifty asked in the chat, and we'll get to the Game of the Year nominee specifically. But he asked if any of you guys are thinking there's going to be a major reveal at the Game Awards, and if so, what do you think it'll be? I said I'm anticipating
GTA
that.
6.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The remaster was it. That's it.
you think
I
so?
think.
So I said
Yeah.
the new IP.
Xbox is gonna be there.
New IP is not gonna be revealed. No. The remaster was it.
I don't know.
You're thinking a new IP from Naughty Dog is gonna be at the Game
The only
Awards?
reason I say that is because traditionally, for whatever reason, PlayStation loves to like give Jeff that thing, right? And because
Yeah,
that
but
got
that
announced,
The
was
only
gonna
thing
be
they gave them last year was like the final, wasn't it like the Final Fantasy trailer and
Yeah.
then like
Yeah.
Spider-Man
the
gameplay?
Final
That was
Fantasy
it, though.
trailer was big. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, but
So,
they haven't really done. They
unless-
don't really do first party like that, though.
unless we see Sony Band new IP, unless we see uh, Sucker Punch new IP, or
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much in the tank. I think they
There
could
is,
cough up.
but I doubt they're showing
No?
it at Jeff Keighley's show. I know.
Okay,
You know, Sony
okay.
likes to save that stuff for like their own stuff. Like, I mean, I would love it there because hey, the sooner the better. I don't care where they show it, but I just know Sony. Like, I think their big reveal was supposed to be the Last of Us.
Yeah,
part,
I definitely think
Yeah.
that was gonna show up there.
But because it got leaked, they unfortunately had to go ahead and just they were just like fuck
I
it,
wonder
let it
if they're
roll.
gonna
so it
cut
makes
it.
you question if they're gonna send what's his name, something very quick, what they're working on, or they're just gonna keep it with the leak.
Bro, Ghost 2? Don't play with me like that, Thrifty. Don't play with me like that,
Hey,
bro.
we're gonna see.
Because
As much as
Ghost
I
2?
would
Ghost 2?
die,
Morgan's
as
jumping
much
out
as
the
I would
gym.
Die.
We
They're
will
not gonna.
see.
They're
We
not
will
gonna
see.
show. They're not gonna
As
show Ghost 2
someone,
either.
as someone that put more than 300 hours in Ghost, including Legend, and I ran Nightmares solo missions. Well, I'm not even supposed to do them solo. I did them solo. Um, I would also die for a Ghost 2, but I would love something else, a new IP. Before we continue, shout out to chat again. We have few newcomers. We have the Assassin's Creed Wikipedia himself, Stage. Shout out to you, man. And we have Thrifty PS Gamer. So Thrifty said something that I want to actually cover. He said, Final Fantasy Rebirth looks so freaking good. About that, so apparently there's a new difficulty called Dynamic, which essentially, for all you Final Fantasy fans, correct me if I'm wrong, it almost reminds me with Final Fantasy VIII, where your enemies level up with you.
I mean, I didn't know that's what they were calling it, but yeah, I mean, I heard about it.
If that's what it is, if that's how it is, no problem. But if it's also limiting you with MP, and you can't get MP when you rest, and you can't use items, like nah. This one is gonna be rough.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what's up when they.
Yeah, we see what's up with this one.
We'll get some more info sooner rather than later, as we know.
So, I'm gonna go to a very sad topic right now, which is painful to say. So this year alone, The amount of games as a live service that died. Knockout City, Rumbleverse, Evil Dead, Crossfire X, Babylon Fall, Blood Hunt, Hood, Deathverse, and Multiverse. Um, I named them because this year, no, not even this year. I went so far back at the beginning of this month, November. This month alone, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm wrong. Destiny layoff. Embracer laid 900 people off. Ubisoft laid 124 people off. Amazon laid 200 people off. Key focus I want to focus on is Fire 5 parent company, Digital Bro. They laid 30% of their developers off. And Warframe devs also laid off. Um, One of the reasons why I want to cover this is the parent company for uh, 505. They said something so interesting, and I'm curious what your thoughts about that. So they said that gamers don't want new IPs; they only want sequels. And I'm gonna show here 505 Game Pen Company Digital Bros is laying off 30% of its staff. They say gamers mostly want to play sequels and they're canceling new IPs. This is from the same one that released Ghost Runner 2. They just released that game. Um, my question to the audience, I'm gonna start with Weeb. Um, is this true? Does are gamers more inclined to play sequels than new IPs?
Um, yeah, I mean, without actually um, having the metrics, it's kind of hard to make a judgment call on that. But the thing is, like, traditionally, yes, the sort of traditional thought is, and it isn't just with games, but with movies as well. Like sequels generally is a safer bet. And because it's a known quantity, and it's not just necessarily a direct sequel, but can be something that carries the name of a known uh, known IP, like a reboot, like that it's playing it safe because people will recognize it and they might buy it because of nostalgia of or because they think, oh yeah, I mean I know that, so that might be good. Like, yeah, sure, like the the bulk of games that are released a year, like new titles, like won't be picked up mostly because most of them are probably also not you know uh, very high budget titles that get a lot of promotion. But yeah, I mean there's a high risk that if you release a new IP that will fail. It can also succeed. I mean, Sony is a great example of a company that has studios that regularly produce new IPs and they succeed. And Ghost of Tsushima is a new IP. The Last of Us was, a new IP when the first game came out. So there's a risk, but on the other hand, if you keep on churning out sequels, there's also the risk that you will basically water down that franchise to the point that people will stop caring and move on to something else. Um, so it, I think it's a little bit short-sighted to say that gamers only care for sequels. Like there are plenty of new games, uh, new IPs that succeed. But it helps if you are if you have certain pedigree. Like if FromSoft releases a new, like with Elden Ring, it's technically a new IP, but you know what you're gonna get with a studio like FromSoft. Um, and but there are plenty of games that come out of nowhere and suddenly are successful. But yeah, that's like hitting the jackpot. You know that most developers will never reach that level of success. So Yeah, but the problem is, of course, that if you don't have an existing IP that you can work on, you cannot create a sequel. So you will always be forced to make a new IP. Um, so yeah, if you're a new studio or indie studio, you're essentially just you have to hope maybe that your game will be very successful. And yeah, then you can make a sequel because that's a safe bet, of course, because people want more of the same. Um, so there is truth in that, in the sense that sequels definitely are safer and people are more likely to buy a sequel of a game that they like than risk getting into a new IP. But I don't think it's true that we only want sequels. If you have a very interesting a game that's interesting, it looks interesting, that people want to play, and yet sure you have to make sure that it gets out there, that people know the game exists, get the marketing right, etc. But you know it will, like, if it's a good game and if it gets people excited, it will sell. It's not that it has to be a sequel. So yeah, so short answer is understand where it's coming from. There is some truth in it, but uh, the taking it as an absolute statement, it's bullshit. That no, we don't only want sequels. That's you can you have ample evidence that that's not true.
Okay, I see. Nate?
Yeah, so yeah, I mean that's absolutely not true. I mean, I'm one of the prime examples of people that is always looking forward to uh new IPs and experiencing that with lots of people. So, to a ton of people that I game with as well are always looking forward to new IPs. So, that's not the case. I think it may be an observational case for them based on the games that they release. But yeah, I mean, if something, like we've said, if something comes out and it's good, and it's a new IP, that's not a factor. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's a new IP. Like, I'm probably not going to play that. So, it's like, saying that we only want that is like a no, because at the same time, like Ghost Runner 2 came out, like you said, I don't care about that because I didn't play the first one. Like, I'm not gonna so that's a lie. Like, you would think I would want to jump into that because of that. But it's like, no, if the game is good, I'm ultimately going to play it, uh time withstanding, obviously we gotta have the time to play it. But um, yeah, I mean that's completely not true. I mean, Ghost was a new IP, and I was ecstatic to play that and put tons of
Mm,
time into that. It's one of my favorite franchises from last generation, so that's not true in the slightest. Um, a ton of new IPs are some of my favorites. Yeah, I mean, I do have some of my favorites that I want to continue probably forever. Games like Fire Emblem and stuff like that. But it's like it's often because those offer an experience that you really can't get anywhere else, or it's not something that anyone else is really offering. That, like I said, something like Fire Emblem being a strategy RPG, uh, produced at a high caliber level, isn't something that you see a lot. So of course, I'm gonna go crazy for that. That's my thing. Um, and a lot of the even stuff like Mario and stuff are not particularly sequels, right? A lot of them are new IPs, or completely different versions. Like, they're not Mario Galaxy 37. Um, so yeah, I completely disagree with that. To make a long story short, like absolutely not.
okay. Um, Morgan?
Damn, if you're my name, huh? Yeah, I pretty much agree with Weeb and Innate. It seems to me like that's a statement spoken more out of fear
To
and
cover their bases?
yeah, to cover their bases, and because they're afraid to take chances on a new IP because like we've said, new IPs are, first of all, it's a risk because you don't know if it's going to work out. There's no base, there's no fan base, there's no hype, behind it. There's no lore. Essentially, like you're building something, from the ground up, and it costs a lot of money. It's a big investment, and you don't
Mm-hmm.
know whether that's going to pay off or not. And, that's why a lot of publishers build up on their well-known IPs and quote unquote what some gamers like to say milk those IPs because they know that IP has a fan base, has a strong fan base, it will be received well. All you got to do is show the title screen and people will flip out like, oh man, another one's coming, let's go. But just because gamers like sequels, right? I mean, if a game is good, of course we're going to be excited for a sequel to it, right? But that doesn't mean that we don't like new IPs either. I mean, sequels have to come from somewhere, which is usually from a new IP.
Exactly.
So, yeah, this whole idea, like you said, it's literally just out of fear, and it's to cover base because
Okay. I see.
IPs are just these games are getting to the point where they're multiple hundreds of millions of dollars now, and that if you make that type of investment, and well, let's look at an example. Let's look at a studio that just recently opened and then immediately closed. Like, what was the studio that made Callisto Protocol? I mean, you would
Wait.
think.
Well, they didn't
Did
close.
they close?
They didn't close, but he
Well,
left.
They didn't close,
Yeah.
but oh god, I doubt they're gonna.
Yes, they had a rough start for sure.
Yeah.
The head of
Yeah.
the studio left, right?
Yeah, the head of the studio
like,
left.
He came in. I mean, he's a vet, right? He made Dead Space. You would think, okay, he's got the base, and he even had an IP that was associated, right? Kind of like a spinoff of a known, well-loved IP. And even with that, that gift of having that and, being a part of that and, being the creator of that, he still couldn't capture the that thing that made Dead Space great, right? And Callisto came out and people thought it was mid. It wasn't the most terrible game ever, but it definitely wasn't what people were expecting. They were like, okay, we're about to get into the next step of Dead Space. Like, this is about to be it. But it just did not meet expectations. And because of that, the sales were poor, reception bad, and the guy who started this brand new studio left. He just left. So I mean, and those are the type of risks you take when you do new IPs. But I mean, again, that does not mean gamers don't want new IPs. That just means y'all have to step it up and be willing to take that chance, and of course make a quality IP. But yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, I
So,
was gonna say real quick before we do.
Yeah, go ahead.
A perfect example of a game that's in tandem with what she brought up though. I love Dead Space. I love Dead Space 2. Dead Space 3 was trash by comparison though. So yeah, while we love sequels, they can also be bad, and gamers
I'm
will let
looking
you
at
know.
you, Lost Planet 3. I
Well,
hate you so much.
exactly. So we could all name sequels to games that we used to love that got bad. So yeah, the whole gamers just want sequels thing is definitely not true because of that. So there's definitely prime examples where sequels just don't cut it. So, but yeah,
I
go
was
ahead.
not confused because I love new IPs. Like, I'm always about trying new IPs.
Facts.
Yep, especially when it's
before
from a developer that you really like,
Exactly.
So before I continue, shout out to a new person that just came in. Well, he came in beforehand. Hero Down Under. Welcome to the show. I hope you're enjoying what you're listening to. So this one caught my attention because even though it's right now movie related, who knows, it can become more. So, a live action Legend of Zelda featuring film is in development. This movie will be co-financed by Nintendo and Sony Picture Entertainment. So keyword, not PlayStation, Sony Picture Entertainment. We have seen Sony leveraging their IPs and getting a PlayStation something out of it. Look at Spider-Man. That's how they got Spider-Man. So, my question becomes, can we see growth from this to actually see them working together? Because PlayStation and Nintendo have years of hating each other. But especially with how Microsoft is moving, if there is no unification in Japan, Japan's screwed. I'm not gonna lie. Especially with how Microsoft is gobbling up publishers, not studios. So, is there a way to see a collab between PlayStation and Nintendo, or an opening in a sense of platform where Nintendo games are on PlayStation and PlayStation games on Nintendo and vice versa? Or is that a pipe dream?
That's a pipe dream. That's not happening.
Not happening?
Yeah, it's
We're
not
just
happening.
collaborating for this movie. It's just it's just Sony Pictures just working with Nintendo because they know that's gonna get them money. Like Zelda, come on, one of the the biggest Nintendo IPs right now. Working from Tears of the Kingdom to Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom. Sony just knows that's dollar signs. So I'm pretty sure they kind of came to Nintendo like, hey, you need a studio for this movie. Yeah. We can help you out with that. we
What
got
if
you. We
Nintendo
got
hits
you.
up Sony?
Honestly, Nintendo could have gone anywhere and probably got the bag for that. To be honest,
But
but
would it be as good?
are you saying Sony makes all bangers? Because that's not true.
Not all bangers, but most of them.
I wouldn't say that. I would not say that at
Okay, to
all.
be fair, they fucked up with Uncharted. Okay.
Yeah, it's like they got some good movies, but I wouldn't necessarily say they have the same caliber as they do with their games. Sony Pictures is kind of like hit and miss, but I think this is purely just movie stuff. Like
Okay.
I don't see it going into like games because even with Microsoft pushing in Japan, like Nintendo gonna be just fine. Like Sony's gonna be in trouble, but Nintendo's gonna be just fine. They're like, they see the fire. They're like, we're fine. Like, look, Nintendo fans ain't going anywhere. All right, we're good over here.
I
Right?
see.
So
So shout out to everyone that told me it's a pipe dream. So we and Nate, I'm pretty sure you guys agree, and we can skip this one. Or do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, it's not happening.
Nope.
Yeah. So very quick. Warner Brothers to focus more on games live service. They announced, and they have yet to release their live service game, which I think is Suicide Squad, right?
Yep.
yeah, it's gonna be live service. Yeah.
So, from everything that you have seen, Suicide Squad, Nate, is that inciting to you? Does that scream, I need to play it right now?
I mean, absolutely not. I mean, honestly, I don't know what the hell they're doing with that game. I mean, it could be a hit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say I'm right. You know what I'm saying? But being a live service game entices me that much more less. So they're gonna have to prove something to me, especially in wake of the incredible start to 2024 that is looking crazy right now. Um, I mean, currently, looking, most of us are gonna play probably the 7 or 8 games that I'm already eyeing next year. So to me, that says the competition is heavy. You're going to be vying for people's time. The current live service games that are top of the top of the shelf are not going anywhere. So you're going to have to compete for that. And the particular franchise they're working with isn't going to do them any favors. That's not, the Suicide Squad is not at the top of a ton of people's list. Is like, oh man, I just really got to play that because I love the Suicide
Mm.
Squad. Not that those fans don't exist, but like, I mean, this isn't coming out as like the major Marvel thing release, like the movies were at the height of like Marvel or anything. Like they've definitely got some people interested because of the IP, but yeah, man, I don't really know where that's going. Like I said, people live service games honestly got to be as careful as ever, because I mean, prime example, right? Like we talked about all the cuts happening and stuff. One of the first things to go when times are tough and people are losing jobs and this and that, like, is people are going to cut luxuries. So that $10 a month reoccurring sub to that one game that they play, it's either going to be the only thing that they keep, or they're going to just invest in more single player stuff the way that we do, that's going to last them X amount of time for a specific amount of money without having to pay more. So I think people will just cut out less and less. They're not going to play several live service games and keep several subscriptions going. You already see a huge downturn in just
Yeah,
media.
just name what 8, 9 that died this year alone.
Well, yeah, exactly. But besides those, it's not the only form of entertainment dropping, right? Subscription services overall have had massive drops. So you're seeing consolidation there with Hulu and Disney. Disney's bleeding like crazy. So they're trying to pull Hulu over. They're gonna, combine.
Which I was very happy. Because I'm keeping my
Netflix
Hulu
just
subscription, but I'm definitely dumping Disney.
Exactly. And
Netflix
yeah,
just upped the subscription from $20 to $30 now.
again, I don't know where that is. I'm not gonna comment on that because I've
Yeah,
literally seen.
it's 21 over here.
Yeah, that's what I
Like,
was saying.
yeah.
That looked like a Canadian thing, and I still don't know where they got that from. Because
Oh, okay.
that's why I told you I wouldn't think, because I googled that and like checked, and like that's nowhere but that PC Focus thing. Like it looks legit,
Okay.
the screenshot they took, but I don't know where they got that from.
So we wait for
Yeah,
confirmation before
yeah,
we go. Okay, I see.
yeah. Plus, like I said, on top of that, that looked Canadian, so that might have something to do with their stuff. But yeah, regardless, like I said, most people are at least cutting back on their subservices. A lot of people, we talked about that on, Thrifty hasn't had a show, but in the chat we were talking about it because, or Salty hasn't had a show, but Thrifty's in the chat and he was talking about what they cut back on and what they share and kind of to try and cut back on it too. Because, like I said, the original idea that a lot of people forget was we were paying these big cable bills at one point, and the point of subservices being so enticing is watch when you want, what you want, and nothing else, while also paying less, because you don't have to go through this whole a la carte service, blah blah blah. You get access to all these great things, especially exclusive content like Netflix, but then everybody with their prices going up on top of your groceries going up on top of all this stuff going up. It's just, like I said, the luxury is always the first thing to go, and that is ultimately what gaming is. It's a luxury. So if you're trying to compete with people's money, especially when you're thinking about, if they're gonna limit their own, even what their kids might be playing, I keep seeing parents cutting back on V-Bucks for Fortnite and this and that. Like,
Not
it's
the
just,
V-Bucks.
yeah, man, the V-Bucks, Roblox, again, like all that stuff suffers essentially, but those are the top tier, right? Those are the people who have been here, and are most likely not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. But even they'll see a drop in revenue, one that's most likely sustainable. But that means if the overall revenue is dropping in that area, it leaves less for newcomers. So I think that's something they got to keep in mind. And the fact that most of us are not really excited for it says a lot, especially because on top of that, it's a game where there's an initial investment because it's going to be sold as a full price game, and then microtransactions on top of that.
Mhm.
And that's another slippery slope. Again, that's the Destiny thing I told you about, right? And then what happened? You heard Destiny dropped 45%. I told you I quit. And after I quit, you know, I just constantly kept seeing people quitting, coming away from the game, them not really listening to the player base is a big problem with that. But again, a game that was largely successful for a long time and is also dropping with Destiny 2. So that's why I'm like, I just really think they don't understand how finite the availability of revenue within that area is, and you're not gonna just convince everybody and their grandmother to get on it either, just because you put it on it's accessible on a phone or via the cloud or things like that either. So it's just that's another thing that gets overestimated, because you see the success of something like Genshin Impact, which all the big companies see. They want a piece of that $3 or $4 billion they made that first time. But I imagine even Genshin Impact has dropped significantly in revenue since they started. So like that's what I'm saying. Like even they're dropping regardless of that, being popular and where it was, which is why they launched Honkai Star Rail. And they kind of took a lesser approach to the monetization with that one, allowing you, to the point where, like you said, we recently found out you could beat it and the person didn't pay anything when they beat it. So yeah, I think companies just got to be really careful, and something like this game, which already has a lot of people cautious, they just got to be really careful with how they monetize this game going forward, man. It's looking rough, and I'm not looking to be there day one currently. If they could change my mind before then color me surprised.
I see. Morgan?
Yeah. So I watched the first episode of, I guess, the deep dive for the Justice League Kill Ya, or whatever the hell it's called. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Yeah, it's I'm kind of back and forth with it, but I'm mostly kind of back with it because it's like I watched some of the gameplay. It's going to be a co-op experience, which cool. You can play with your friends, cool. But the gameplay itself just looks kind of just, I don't know. I'm getting real like Gotham Knights vibes from this, and just like I'm not really that impressed.
Oh, damn, you don't want to be there. You don't want to ever put your game next to Gotham Knight,
they were like all up on a roof, in a tall building on Metropolis, looking down, and Harley and King Shark and Boomerang and all of them, they jumped off the side of the building. And, they're falling down. They're doing the whole Spider-Man thing. So and that's another thing. I'm just spoiled by Spider-Man 2. So I was expecting from this jump, like Harley has like a grapple hook similar to, I guess, Batman's grapple hook. She gets to the bottom of the jump. I'm expecting once she gets her grapple hook and grabs the next building to swing, that she's going to have a lot of momentum because, they got the animation of the wind, going past her really fast as she's free fall diving down the side of the building. I'm like, oh man, she about to have a big swing. She grabs onto the building and it's the slowest fucking swing I've ever seen. And it reminds me like the fall was looking like Spider-Man 2, but then the swing was looking like Spider-Man 2018. I was like, oh man, like it just did not look good. And I was just like, they got time. Maybe they can fix it, speed that up a little bit, because it didn't look right. For all that momentum you built, you really didn't do much. But like I said, I like the idea of co-op and playing with my friends to, kill the Justice League or whatever. I'm hunting down Superman, Batman, all of, the key members. But I don't know. It's just the gameplay itself it just doesn't, there's nothing about it that's just like makes me go, ooh, I really want to play this game. Like, man, it just looks like, okay. I mean, maybe more episodes, they're going to do more episodes. So maybe down the line, something about it will look impressive to me, but it's making me feel like kind of how I felt when I saw Marvel's Avengers. Everybody
interesting.
everybody thought that game was going to be a success. You're coming off of like one of the biggest superhero team IPs, especially at that time. Marvel's was hot. Like everybody and their mom knows who the Avengers are, right?
Yeah.
So you would expect that the IP to be just come out swinging. And I don't know, like the single player was good, but the multiplayer aspect of it, and I don't know. It's just, but like Nate was saying, it's just you got to be real careful with these live services. I think if they had just kept it like a kind of a co-op experience, like and without the live service aspect of it, I feel like it'd probably be doing a lot better or look a lot more appealing to me. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to see how egregious the live service is. Is it just customization? Like, is it just like skins in this game, or is it going to be like guns and like power ups and things that can build up your player that makes the game a lot easier? Like, there's just so many questions I have about. That's the crap they need to cover in these damn deep dives. Like, what are we going to be charged? what is the live service? Is it just like expansions? Is that the live service, or is it like customization? That's the thing I need to know. But thus far, it's not looking like a day one for me. So
I see.
yeah.
Weeb?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they announced that was a live service game, uh, it, I knew it wasn't going to be for me. I mean, the entire Arkham series is dead now. I mean, they had a great thing going, and they're just fucking it up with, producing a live service game after live service game. Up to the point that there's even rumors that the Wonder Woman game is going to be a live service. I mean, come on.
So-
Yeah, I know.
They came out and said that's not the case, so
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, we'll see.
are we gonna believe them?
That's the thing. Like, they'll be like, it's
Yeah.
not, but it kind of is. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man.
I think it will be as much as Shadow of War was, but then the stuff for that turned out to be so egregious that they eventually patched it out. So
oh god.
yeah,
If
because
they don't learn from Shadow of War,
well, it has the
it's gonna
Nemesis
be a
system in it.
bloodbath.
It has the Nemesis system in it, and that's part of what they used in Shadow of War for like purchases was the Nemesis system. So it allowed you to purchase like really powerful like orcs and stuff for your side to like beat up the other side and stuff. But they eventually patched it out, so now you don't have to pay. You don't pay anything. But I think they realized how much of an issue that was. So hopefully they're paying attention and they're very very careful with how they deal with that, if at all, in Wonder Woman.
I see. So there is this topic about whatchamacallit, GTA 6 publisher talking about games should be more expensive depends on hours per value, but I don't have enough information about it to talk about it. I'm gonna just skip it to next week, move it to next week. I'm just gonna talk about Game of the Year award and the leak that happened. So, very quick, the leak. Last of Us 2 remastered. It's coming with a new mode. It's coming with additional levels, and I hope it have haptic, but I'm not sure about that.
it does. It's gonna have DualSense
Okay,
features,
nice,
4K,
nice.
VRR.
Unlock frames that I know.
Mhm.
And shout out to you. You called it. I was expecting it to be 70, but I'm not sure what the actual price for it is.
It's
But
10 to $10. Oh, you talking about for the actual? Oh yeah, I don't know how
yeah,
much it actually is gonna cost. Yeah, no.
I don't know what the actual price is, but if you own the OG, which I did, then you can buy the new one for $20. Well, $10. €20. My bad. $10, €20. So, as a fellow PlayStation, Last of Us fan, because I'm pretty sure everyone here is a Last of Us fan. What you thought on the remake, remaster, and do you think it's warranted or not?
I mean, I can just go
Wait,
first
I
and
have
then
The Last of Us 2 as. Wait, do I own a game or do I play it somewhere else? I'm not sure if I own it or not. I'm gonna look up.
I have no
Um,
idea, but yeah, I mean, I'm there day one. $10. I don't care. I'm not worried about it. You can barely get a combo meal for $10 these days. Like,
yeah.
so
They mad because they got to skip their Starbucks that day. Like, fuck,
yeah,
damn it.
yeah, basically, like yeah, I'm not even mad at that. People be spending like $13 on a drink at something like Starbucks and stuff. Like, the extra frappe, extra whip, hold the cream, crazy. So I was like, yeah, no, $10 for a game that I thought was absolute, gameplay wise was absolutely fucking amazing. Yeah,
You
I'm
hate
I'm
the
there day one.
story. You got.
I ain't even gonna go there. I ain't even gonna go there. Like I said, gameplay wise, it's about gaming, and the game played awesome, and I enjoyed it. So it was a phenomenal game. And $10, I'm there for the update, and we'll call it good. And I'll be playing all these other new games at the same time. So, hey, look, I'm not mad at it. So great job.
Okay. Morgan, $10. You willing to drop $10 for greatness? Oh,
Oh, she like dropped out or something. There she is.
okay. There she is. Morgan, you willing to drop $10 for greatness?
She may be having like sound issues or something.
Okay. And Weeb, you willing to drop $10
Sorry,
for greatness?
my bad, y'all. No, go ahead, go ahead. We
I might even go for the physical edition because I want to have the Neil
yep,
Cuckman card.
yep.
Really? Would
I'm
you
going for the.
trust them though? Especially with
I'm
how
going for
they
that.
botched the OG one with the first one? Would you trust them?
I mean, what did they botch with the
Wait,
first one?
what
Huh?
happened with the first?
Did they not botch the collector edition?
How? What are you talking about?
We didn't get a collector's edition here in Europe.
Oh, well, in the USA they botched it
How? I got it. How does it botched?
with the box that came
I got it in a box. I didn't get it in a yellow bag.
like a lot of people that I know came for
Listen,
them destroyed.
a lot of people ain't me. Okay, I got my shit in a box.
I mean, okay, you got your shit in the back. Okay,
And I'm
fine.
getting that WLF edition. Absolutely. I'm getting that physical.
Okay,
I gotta get the matching pair. I can't just get one and not get the other. Like you gotta get the matching, you know.
okay,
Absolutely. They
so
need to drop the price for that because they definitely haven't said how much that's gonna cost. I guess they're still working that out. But yeah, they definitely need to go ahead and tell me so I can get that ready.
mm-hmm. Okay. As for me, I got I real talk. I'm iffy about it only because I'm not sure if I played it via game sharing or I own it. I should own the CD, and if it's a CD, I don't know if I can get the upgrade or I need to buy it for
Anybody?
price.
No, you can get it whether you
Oh,
have the digital or
okay.
physical.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I should have it somewhere here. And if I do, then absolutely gonna jump on it. Like, no chance in hell I wouldn't. My game of the generation. Um, my biggest issue is now at hand is with Naughty Dog themselves. They're fixated on remaking and remastering that new IPs like Where, and even um, it's worse with Faction. Faction is Where, and if Faction is not ready, then what the hell is the new IP at? And this is why I said to Innate, I don't see them ever announcing a new IP at the GOTY Award. Because sadly, that's how PlayStation works. They don't know that people can focus on more than one thing at the same time. Um, what's your thought? Do you think we're gonna see a new IP from Naughty Dog? And what's going on with Naughty Dog? Do you think this remaster is warranted?
I mean, we knew it was coming, so I'm not surprised there's a remaster. I mean, they have done this with most of their late last gen game. So the question indeed is, why did it take so long? I guess that's an interesting question, but that probably has something to do with the troubles with factions. I mean, Naughty Dog hasn't let me down so far. I mean, that studio still has made the best game of the last generation, and possibly the best game of that generation before that. So it's not like they're suddenly, forgot how to make great games. I mean, we have to wait and see until they throw out their next game. And I have no indication whatsoever to believe that that's not going to be a banger as well. So the thing is, Naughty Dog doesn't generally drop games that quickly. I mean, if you think about how many games that we have in the PS4 generation, I mean, you had Uncharted 4, and you had Last of Us Part 2. So it's not like, yeah, I mean, I know that Insomniac, for some reason, is able to uh, have a very high frequency of dropping games, but doesn't seem to be the case for everybody, and that's fine. If they need 5 years or whatever to develop an absolutely genre-defying masterpiece, and so be it. I mean, I'm not really don't really have a dearth of games at the moment. I have too much to play, so I'm fine with them taking their time. I do, like you said, wish they would show something. The thing is, I, I think they're kind of in sort of this weird position now they've announced this remaster, so they're probably going to promote that and not anything else. They're still, whatever is going to happen with factions. So, I mean, they have said it's still in development, so they're probably not going to promote any other game before that's coming out. But I mean, I do wish it, even if it's just a fucking JPEG, just announce something, just show us that, this is what you're working on. Um, I don't think there's going to be anything at the Game Awards, but yeah, I mean, I would love to be surprised in that part.
Absolutely.
Okay. Morgan?
What were your two questions? You asked two questions.
Well, the question is, was this remaster warranted? We knew about it, like it was leaked
Mm-hmm.
beforehand, but
Mm-hmm.
was it warranted?
Yeah, because honestly, it wasn't really like, it's the same way I felt about the Last of Us Part One remake. It's not really being made for us, the hardcore fans. Like, this is Sony's attempt at the cross platform or cross media, I should say, of trying to get pull fans from their show. Right, season 2, they're casting, and apparently they're about to get underway, and what they want is for when season 2 starts, and it's going to be, they said it's going to be part 2, right? And it's not going to be all of part 2, like they're breaking it down. Apparently it's going to be like half of it in season 2 and half of it in season 3, apparently. But they want to give something to those fans, right, who aren't even gamers, who watch The Last of Us, right, to come over and play and buy and play The Last of Us Part 2. And yes, they could just get the PS4 version, but they want the latest. PlayStation wants to give those consumers the latest, like, update, high refresh, 4K, stunning visuals, whatever, right? High frames version of that game, right? They want them to be able to be like, all right, what, like, people who don't game like that and don't know about backwards compatibility, and know that they can just get The Last of Us on PS4 and put it in there. People who don't really know anything about gaming, right? Let them be like, okay, this has a PS5 on it. This is for a PS5. I can put this in the PS5 and play this, right? I can get The Last of Us Part 1 for my PS5, and I can get The Last of Us Part 2 for my PS5. And that's really who this remaster is for. It's not really for the fans. Like, of course, the hardcore Last of Us fans are going to buy it, but this is for the new people. This is for the people they're trying to get from the TV show. So is it warranted? Well, yeah and no. Like for us, not really, but for them, sure. I'm gonna buy it anyway. Like I said, I'm getting the WLF edition. Hopefully, it was a fight to get the Part 1 remake. So hopefully, because they only sell it on PlayStation Direct. So hopefully I can secure that. But okay. So your first question was it warranted, and what was the second question?
The first question was it warranted? And the
Mhm.
second question is, restock. I actually forgot what the second question is. No, okay.
Oh, Naughty Dog, about Naughty Dog. That's what you were asking.
Um, yeah.
Yeah,
So where is the games at? The new IPs?
yeah. You know, we know they're working on a new IP. Neil Druckmann said as much. Like they're working on, a new third person action adventure story game, and I'm excited. You know, anything Naughty Dog works on, especially with the word, new slapped on it, I'm all behind it. Um, where is it? you know, it's still in the oven. Apparently, they're still cooking. And I'm with Weeb. I have absolutely no issues waiting on Naughty Dog's new game. I know, because I have no doubt they haven't, like we've said, they haven't let me down yet. So until they do, I'm not going to be like, oh man, they fell off. Like you can't really measure somebody falling off until they actually fall off. So until they drop a game and it's like on some Redfall level shit, and I'm like, what the hell is this Naughty Dog?
Absolutely.
Like who are y'all? What this is not what I expected. Until they do that, they have me like sitting here scratching my head, wondering like, there's no way Naughty Dog made this game. I'm still behind them 100%. Has the communication been kind of like sparse? Absolutely. But I think, I know people are so sick and tired, because I am too, of the COVID excuse. But I really think COVID like fucked everybody's whole schedule up. And now it's like,
Timeline.
now that, yeah, it like they all had a plan going into this new generation. And then the new generation started off with the pandemic. And so it just messed up the whole timeline going forward. And so now things have been pushed back a year or two, just because people had to go home. They couldn't work in the studio. They had to figure out, it was the start of figuring out how to work from home as far as the game industry goes, which was kind of like a new thing for most of the industry. And it just pushed everything back a couple years. Like we were going to do this in 2020, but hey, we had to go home for a year, or we had to go home for a year and a half, and they got pushed back a year and a half. So it's like now everything's off by like a year and a half. You get what I'm saying? So yes, COVID's over, but the ripple effect from it is still very present. And I think that just messed up Naughty Dog's schedule so much, because people are always asking, like, Naughty Dog, they've always released a game in like 4 or 5 years. Like, this is kind of unprecedented for them to be taking this long. And like, I agree, but like I said, like, there was a lot of factors that played into that. Like, I believe, that they're close, or at least they were close with factions. And then of course, the whole incident with Bungie coming in and being like, nah, scrap that. We're not feeling that. But do I think there's going to be anything at the Game Awards? No. I think we're going to get a rehash. They're just going to re-show this trailer for the remaster.
This was leaked. That's why.
You said what?
This was leaked.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're just going to see this trailer again. We might see, like, they're probably throwing a trailer for Spider-Man again, get the holiday sales pushing, since it's going to be in December. Like an accolades trailer or something. I don't see maybe a Final Fantasy remake, part 2 trailer again, or some new trailer for that. Maybe something for like their for Helldivers or something, or maybe Concord or their other live service IPs. But as far as like the big, the first string PlayStation studios like Bend and Sucker Punch, Naughty Dog, like their next new IPs, no, we're not going to get anything from them. That's PlayStation. If they have that already, they're going to save that. for their own show. They they like showing that stuff off on PlayStation stage. But yeah, I get everybody's sentiment towards Naughty Dog. It's, oh, here comes another remaster. Like, oh man, here comes another, rework of a previous game. And I get it. I get it. I mean, I like it because I love The Last of Us. So anytime
I
they
mean,
want
we
to
all
refresh
love The
it,
Last of Us.
yeah. But I like anytime they refresh or update, I'm all down for it. Like that's the type of stuff that does not bother me particularly, and I know it bothers a lot of people. Like they're like, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to experience that for the 15th time. Like but I'm that type of person. I love that type of shit. But I don't think Naughty Dog's necessarily in trouble. I just think they're getting back on track from when they kind of fell off, right? When everybody got jostled around, and they're working the best they can. I feel like they were hoping that this remaster kind of like satiates people's appetite towards wanting something for them for just a little bit. Like, okay, we understand you guys are waiting for factions and you're waiting for the next IP. You want like a Last of Us Part 3. We're working, we promise. And they have multiple teams, so I wouldn't take too much in stock into this and think, oh my god, they're wasting resources and time, because they have multiple teams in Naughty Dog, so they're fine when it comes to the workload. And they're just kind of hoping like, okay, here's this, take this, play that for a little bit, and then we will give y'all some more dues come down the line. Just give us time. And I know people are tired of hearing give Naughty Dog more time, but I'd rather them take all the time they need and get it right than they release something and then we're all pissed off because it's not up to the standard that we hold Naughty Dog at. So I'm just for take the time you need, but that shit better be banging when it come out, So that's how I feel about it.
I see. And 8?
And yes, Thrifty, Morgan is a real one. That's why she's my best friend. So yes.
Oh man. Shout out to Thrifty.
He's over here loving your takes, and I'm like, yeah, I know. That's why
There
we
is a reason
always
why
part
she is
chat.
on here.
Oh
Exactly.
man, the love. I love y'all too. Oh man.
You always keep it real, and you always correct people if they're wrong, so you don't cap. So of course. Also, the reason I found you is because of the deceased. Shout out to Optimus Code. Him
Yeah, shout out to Optimus for that. Yeah.
going in spaces all the
R.I.P.
time.
The
I
late
will never
great
forget
Optimus Code.
Mm-hmm.
how an Xbox fan is like, why are you not defending Xbox? What do you even play? Like it was entertaining how you put that person on
Mm-hmm.
in its place. But yeah, very quick. Staying with the topic, I'm curious. The new mode. Do you think they added it to almost like say sorry for Last of Us One remake that had zero new mode whatsoever?
Yeah, I feel like they probably heard the feedback from that and they wanted to give something extra, like, they didn't want to just do plain old remaster in 4K frames and just release it. Like that was one of the biggest surprises, I'll say, because I knew it was going to be $10 to $30 for this remaster update. I knew they were going to do an upgrade path and all that stuff, but what I didn't expect was them to throw in like new modes, new levels, and the fact that you can play different characters on there. Like I saw what was it, Levy or Levi? um you could play as Dina, you could play as Jesse. I was like, oh, like because they showed it in the trailer, and I was just like, oh wow. Like we get to play as people who weren't previously playable,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh snap. The way they got it
Can you
sound,
play as Tess?
that's what I want.
Yeah,
Right?
that's what
I would
everyone
love that.
wants.
Or we could bring Joe back. Like, no, he didn't really die. He didn't really like he.
Maybe
I'm playing this right now.
imagine if you can play as Sarah.
Oh my god. Yep. But I'm just like, there's
Um,
just I appreciate Naughty Dog for taking the time to actually implement a new mode, because that mode sounds awesome. Like I'm definitely gonna try that out day one.
Yeah. Anyone have anything else to add about this topic?
Yeah, no, the new mode I think is perfect though. I think it is a prime example of them kind of paying attention. This is actually something that Resident Evil has done for a really long time, given this extra like co-op mode. I think typically in their games it's mercenaries. It was especially popular with me and Morgan's favorite, which is Resident Evil 5. Um, which I'm hoping that
Yep,
gets.
yep, yep.
Speaking of remaster remakes,
Yeah, please, Capcom. I want Resident Evil 5. Forget the controversy. Don't listen to those people. I want Resident Evil 5 remake. You remade all the other ones. Do it.
Exactly. Like, I mean, we own 4. It's only right we go to 5. I mean, I'm just saying we already there. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I think it's a real easy way for them to up it. I think it's a good lesson for PlayStation. As far as like these type of games go, it gives longevity to a game even more than us just loving the story and stuff. Especially that it's randomly generated. You can't necessarily prepare for it and stuff like that. And they've done something similar before. They've had a very co-ops. They had a co-op survival type mode in the Uncharted series at one point with the multiplayer, which I actually loved a lot and played with a ton of friends back in the day. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think they're just kind of learning, and it's an easy way. It's where it's not super hard and a ton of work for a single player game to just add a little bit more. And then it could turn out to be bigger than they even realize. That those are easy modes to expand upon, giving you more characters, more outfits, more weapons, more like honestly like this is an avenue I hope they really explore upon a lot like Ghost, and even more than Ghost, right? Adding even more because like Ghost just kind of gave us everything all at once, but like they could have expanded on it more, gave us more, more outfits, more weapons to go for, you know, you're passing the raid or this and that, and giving us more legendary weapons or a higher tier than legendary. Like you could just go crazy with these modes, right? And really just keep the engagement up for your game and just keep upping the ante without taking a ton of development work. So I've always been a fan of these types of modes. Like I said, especially co-op particularly, but even single, I think they just expand the game's potential a lot. And this is actually a really big thing that a lot of people don't realize with something like Call of Duty being as big as it is honestly an interest in all these modes they typically have. One of my biggest ones was always the co-op one that they would introduce where you would do what's called Spec Ops, which was in the last Call of Duty. They had brought it back, but it's just you and a friend working through a situation that requires 2 people in order to progress through a mission structure. Um, Complete those missions together. That one's more finite. The randomly generated obviously allows for more potential different scenarios and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I love the idea, and I really hope they expand upon it because I think it could have more legs than they think. And I think it like Thrifty had said in the chat, it's a nice trial run to see how people feel about multiplayer. Maybe it's a structure they're wanting to add in the multiplayer for The Last of Us, because like I said, in Uncharted they had both the PvP and they had a survival aspect. So I think Naughty Dog is on track if they're trying to go both routes. I think it appeases 2 different sets of people. You get the PvP people, and you get the people who just want to play co-op with their friends and see how far they can get and unlock stuff. Like it's a good look. I think they're looking in the right direction right now. So I can't wait to play it.
Okay. Weeb, do you have anything else to add or no?
No.
Then let's move on to the final topic, which is gonna be goty Award. By the way, congratulations for Starfield for being nominated for Game of the Year.
No, man.
Um, such a
Goaties,
fantastic
aka
game.
How
the
dare
Um,
you?
awards.
How dare you, Pony?
Yeah,
Xbox
Tony.
tax.
Xbox fans rise.
Also, congratulations to Rare for being nominated for Community of the Year.
Oh
That was
man,
another one.
you just rubbing it in now. Okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because
Horrible.
um, I think I think that companies shouldn't participate in console war,
I agree.
especially when you say you don't like console war, you hate console war, and all you do is you feed your fan base console war. That's my biggest issue.
Maybe that's why they
Um,
deleted the tweet.
yeah, they deleted the tweet.
Mm.
So thank you for Innate for showing us the nominees. We start with the GOAT, Spider-Man 2.
Yay!
Absolutely deserved. All of us here have the platinum in it, and we can say this um is it your goatee or no? From the list.
I picked Baldur's Gate 3. Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, are you asking
Um
like our personal goatees or like what we
yeah,
expect
no,
to win?
your personal goatee.
Oh,
Oh,
well, my personal
now
is not on there.
from the list or our overall game of the year?
Well, what
Or
is your goatee? Simple.
okay,
Morgan.
well, my game of the year is Octopath Traveler 2.
Okay. I love that love. Uh Weeb.
That's a tough question.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
it's a
Hmm?
tough year.
yeah, it's a really tough year.
Hmm.
Yeah, from that list, that definitely Spider-Man 2. Overall, could be 2, but I don't know. Like I also really like a Dragon, the man who erased his name, but I
Hmm.
have sort of a bias towards the Yakuza franchise, maybe a little bit. Um,
A little bit. Okay, I was about to say until you're honest, until you dropped a little bit.
Oh man.
all right.
Okay. Um. Okay, so then let me do this like this to simplify it for you. What is your game of the year and what is your shock of the year? A game that you didn't anticipate to be that good and it was that good. Morgan.
You know, I think my game of the year is my shock of the year. Um, I did not,
Okay.
I wasn't really looking towards Octopath Traveler 2. Y'all know I'm new to the JRPG genre. But I tried out the demo and I was like, okay, I like this. But I definitely wasn't, I was excited for Spider-Man. I thought Spider-Man 2 was going to be my game of the year. It's my number 2 though. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, it's behind Octopath, and I was expecting Spider-Man to be my overall game of the year. So I was really surprised playing Octopath Traveler 2 and falling for it so hard and being like, damn, this game is good. And I knew once I finished it, I was like, yeah, I don't think Spider-Man's gonna be out this game. This is gonna be my game of the year. So yeah,
I see.
that
I
that was
see.
my surprise.
Very quick shout out to chat. They said Seafresh said Baldur Gate, even he haven't finished it yet. Safety said Final Fantasy, no, Hero Down Under said Final Fantasy 16. Safety, what's your game of the year? Um, Anyone else in chat? Put your game of the year. I'm curious. Also, put your surprise of the year. The game that you didn't think it would be well, it would be good, but you played it and you enjoyed it. What's your surprise of the year?
I'm surprised this year. RoboCop.
That I get
Wow.
Oh
that.
damn! Okay, I'm hearing a lot of people
Yeah,
say that. I'm gonna have to buy that game because I'm hearing a lot of people say that
uh,
they're enjoying it.
well, because I had like I expected to be absolute gutter garbage, and it turns out
Right,
to be pretty
campy.
fun. Yeah.
Were you a fan of RoboCop, like the movies?
The movie I only consider RoboCop 1 to be
Okay.
to exist.
Yeah.
Uh, the,
Okay.
only the Paul Verhoeven movie is a real RoboCop. Everything else is just poor imitation.
Okay. Got you. Okay. So you were a true blooded RoboCop fan. Okay, I see you.
Innate? Goty and surprise.
Uh, well, my game of the year is Octopath Traveler 2. That hasn't changed. I actually thought it would, because this year has been crazy. Uh, but yeah, no, it's definitely still Octopath Traveler 2. Um, I hate to be samey, but it's like I didn't expect it to be that good. Like I hate to match what Morgan said,
Oh
but
man, see this man always copying me. You see?
I hate it. I hate it. But it really was. Like I was just like no, like I expected it to be like good, but damn. Like it is so much better
Oh,
than the first one. Like
oh
yeah, in
yeah.
literally every way. Like that's a very popular saying right now, and we laughed about that because the whole Horizon thing. It's better in every way, 7 out of 10. Uh, um, but yeah, I mean, it really was. They improved on it so much and gave just the right amount of complexity to the job classes, um, and the customization integration, with the way you can really mess with and mix and match. And not only that, but something you don't see a lot of lately, just the uniqueness of the way each character plays, um, in their inherent
Yeah,
roles, and then
yeah.
their unique things, like certain things that they can only do. Like it's incredible,
Oh,
man.
and to be fair, Octopath 2 was robbed the category of like the art direction. Okay.
Absolutely.
The game with the best because the art direction in that game is phenomenal. I took so many fucking screenshots for Octopath Traveler 2. It's insane. Like videos, screenshots, just the
What
way the
about the
camera
music?
rolls.
Oh no,
Yes, the
that
music
too.
is good too. Like, oh, there's so many categories. I
Yeah, the
hate it, but
music
I
is
mean,
insane.
we both knew that it wasn't going to be nominated for, we thought maybe RPG, but we knew it wasn't really going to be nominated for anything because at the end of the day, most people didn't play it. So,
Exactly.
people have to actually play it to vote for it. So we
No,
knew
no,
it.
no, 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 no. It's a crime that Light of P is in the RPG section. It should have been, what you call it? Anything from Sea of Stars to
Oh,
Octopath.
Sea of Stars was
Yeah,
good, but
that's a
yeah,
good one. Hero Down Under said his surprise of the year was Sea of Stars. That's a good one. That was a surprise. Like I knew it was going to be good, but I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Sea of Stars was great.
So,
Got the platinum on
I
that.
think Sea of Stars won with a
anyone?
lot of people.
Yeah, I was about to say, anyone have played Achilles Legend
No.
Unfold?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so, Thrift. So Thrifty, you wanna be friends? Cause you and I, we seem to enjoy games like that. Like, yeah, no, this is my next game that I'm gonna play. From everything that I've seen, this is going to be right up my alley so much. Like, I am super excited. I looked up Meta as curiosity. It's sitting on 67, but I don't care. I'm gonna play it and see what the fuss is about. It remind me with another game as Thor. Um, it's a game that you play as a woman, and you're also a Spartan, as Torgos or something like that. It came out either this year or last year,
Yeah, we went through it.
and it almost plays kind of a little bit like the same in a way. I
I'm
highly
a, I'm a,
recommend it.
I'm gonna be honest. The Achilles one looks more interesting to me than that game. Like
I mean,
I
I
don't have any
played.
interest in
Yeah,
starting this game or whatever. But
yeah,
he showed me that game, a Strigos, yeah, or whatever.
yeah.
But
His
yeah,
Hero down under said it. After got cut of the start. Thank you for the name. So yeah, that one I had a blast with it. So if I know I had a blast with that, Achilles looking 20, if not 100 times better. So I'm super excited and stoked to see what the fuss is about with this game. Um, my goatee is Spidey too, but that's so easy to say. I'm gonna switch it to Sea of Stars. That was so goatee Spidey too, but surprise of the year is absolutely going to be Sea of Stars. The game, like, I had it on my radar, but at the same time, it was almost like a fable for me. It's a sense of like I've seen it, I've seen it, I've seen it, and I was not sure if it's gonna come out. And when it came out and I played it, and as someone that loved JRPG, I love turn-based. The way they implemented turn-based and action, where you need to press a button and stuff like that, was marvelous. The voice, I forgot if it had voice acting, but no, I don't think it had. But the story was amazing. The gameplay was amazing. The scope of it was amazing. The characters, all of them was amazing. Um, if I would say the impact that most had on me would be Octopath 2. Octopath 2 convinced me JRPGs can evolve. And as someone that only played the Persona and Final Fantasy franchises, and some other JRPGs that are basic, Octopath Traveler 2 genuinely opened my eyes to just how fleshed out gameplay can be in a JRPG turn-based. And shame that people didn't buy it. My copy is right here. Um, and another game I'm looking forward to play is Live and Live. So yeah, safety. I am absolutely aware of the Tales franchise. Trust me, but the Tales franchise is such an undertaking that I need to have zero games to play. There need to be zero games that coming out because I know for a fact once I start a Tales franchise game, I'm not gonna be able to stop until I beat them all. Shout out to one of our Hall members, Viper, Rip Corner. He started the Tales franchise and platinum every single game so far, and he is now in the Cold Steel series. So yeah, I know for a fact that the Trails uh, is gonna be amazing. But going back to it, the surprise to me was so the nominees very quick. Spidey 2, Baldur's Gate 3, which I think got the joystick Golden Joystick Award, right? It won goty, or did Starfield win it?
No, Starfield wasn't. I don't think was it in the nomination for
Ye-
Everything was
no.
in everything was in the nomination. So they had an original that went up that was like 6 games, and then when they actually had the award show, they claimed like 20 games were in the running, and Starfield was one of the 20 because they just basically
Okay.
included every damn thing. But yeah,
Okay.
it had no chance.
Yeah, no, but Baldur's Gate one.
Baldur's Gate 1, okay. So, the game that I've seen people talk less about is actually one of the biggest games this year, which is Zelda. Zelda is to me is almost like sitting in a corner doing nothing, which it could be that it's gonna win it, but I'm feeling Baldur's Gate is gonna take it this year.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
as as much as I love Spider-Man 2, I don't think Spidey is gonna get it cause
Spidey's
for
definitely not gonna get it, sir.
for some reason.
It's down to Baldur's Gate and Zelda. That's the two who are fitting it out. Everybody else is just there to watch the show. All right,
It,
it's either Zelda or Baldur's Gate.
which frustrating because I can always go back to what must PlayStation Studio do to get to those levels then with their other
What you
studios.
mean?
I'm not talking about like Insomniac is the one that's getting shifted. I'm not sure if Ghost of Tsushima won. I know Ghost of Tsushima couldn't win because Last of Us 2 was there. Um, if I remember correctly, I forgot.
No, you're right.
Um, yeah. So to me like um very quick. So you think Baldur's Gate gonna take it? I think as well. Um,
Yeah,
we
that's what I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
an 8.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate. Also,
Yeah.
in the interest of not being the same, I actually thought about it and I forgot because I haven't played this game in in a damn minute. Rather than because even though because there was a lot of surprises this year. Like I said, Octopath was definitely a really big one for me because I just really didn't expect it to be that like level of holy shit better. Um, but actually, the surprise of the year for me actually is different. It's actually Zelda because y'all know I like
Oh, that's true.
You
vehemently
hated the first one,
hate the
yeah.
first one. Like hate it. Like I can't stand it for 5 fucking minutes. And I actually really like Tears of the Kingdom. And that
Mm.
is a mega accomplishment because I can't really think of any game where I hated it and then the second game came out and I really liked it. Like that's an incredible achievement. So
Mm.
shout out to them for that.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of something called tax?
Absolutely.
The Xbox tax? Anyone?
Mhm. Mm.
Yeah,
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 the Xbox coping mechanism. Yeah, I heard of that. Yeah.
yeah. The made up thing on Twitter, you know.
So, real talk. As someone that played Starfield, why do you think it didn't get nomination?
Because it was a good game, not a great game.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the difference. And this, there's a couple things to keep in mind when I answer this. Number one, I beat it. Number two, I love Bethesda games. And number three, I'm a massive sci-fi fan. So it had a lot going for it in the first place for me to rate it high as hell. Uh, but again, it was, it was a solid 8. You know, like I'll give it a solid 8, and that's not bad. I actually love the game. I had a ton of fun with the game. Um, but I found a lot of shortcomings. You know, the like I said, the game was very. The longer you play it, the more the cracks begin to show. The shortcomings and the shortcuts that didn't quite wasn't quite there. You know, for not enough for me personally. Not enough variety in the weaponry. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't amazing either. Um, like I said, too many instances. Like I told you, you asked me about the vehicles the other night, and I was like, well, yeah, because there were instances when I didn't want to explore something because it was too damn far. Like, and ultimately, I
Mm-hmm.
knew if I walked over there were going to be some pirates, maybe some loot, real quick in this random planet, and that was it. So I was going to waste my time running over there when I could just jump back to my ship and get the hell out of here. And that's what I did. So, yeah, they definitely had some major design flaws in their design philosophy, thinking, listening to what Todd said versus what I did as someone, like I said, again, as someone who's a massive fan. Um, that was that was some major issues, like I said, that showed up. But like I said, I still like the game overall. Um, but yeah, I mean, we'll just I think that's the big thing. It's just ultimately enough of the people who have played games, who have been in this industry for a long time, really saw that versus uh, all the amazing games that came out this year, and that's really the main reason why I didn't. Right, in a regular year, I think they could have just slid in there, perhaps. Right, they might have been the sixth game in a fairly regular year, but this year was anything but regular. This was one of the most phenomenal years in gaming in years. So yeah, it was a good game in a year where you needed to be a great game. So yeah,
Mm-hmm. Morgan?
Yeah. I'm trying to speak too much on Starfield because I don't have that much experience. I played an hour of it, but let's just say in that hour, since I haven't felt this urge to go back. Maybe I
Oh,
will
damn.
eventually, but I mean, to be fair, it's a big game, and just giving it an hour is not probably enough time for it to like work its magic and see if I really like it or not. Maybe I will eventually, but when it was coming out, there was just way too many games that I really wanted to play for me to kind of focus with Starfield. But yeah, it's when it comes to Starfield and the game of the year, honestly, it just came out. It just came out at the wrong time. If it came out in 2022, I think it would have made the nomination list. But unfortunately for Starfield, right, it came out at a time where we literally had banger after banger after banger. Like every time it got to the point towards the end of the year, around like September, October, that people were, revising their game of the year list like every other week. Like, okay, these are my tops. These are my 6 games of the year, and they'll play another game. Okay, I had to change it. These are my 6 games of the year, and then another game will come out, and they'll be like, wait a minute, these are my 6 games of the year. And because it was just so, like, this year was just so packed and of not just okay games but great games. So Starfield had to fight a lot of games this year, and if it had came out on time, on schedule for 2022, it probably would have been nominated. It wouldn't have won. I mean, because what was it? Was it Elden Ring that was last year? I can't even remember when the hell Elden Ring came
Yeah,
out.
Elden Ring. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have still got beat out, but it would have been on the list. But unfortunately, like I said, there was just too much competition this year, and you can't, like Nate said, you can't just be a good game. You have to be great. Like you have to stand out among the crowd. And I understand that, if you're a huge fan of this game, or you're a huge fan of Bethesda, and you think this game is a 10, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, that's your game. This is your game of the year, right? This is your favorite game. You think it's the greatest game ever made. That's perfectly fine and perfectly understandable, right? We all have our own games. Like me and they both said, like, our game of the year isn't even on the list. It's not nominated. So I completely understand, right? But you also have to understand the reasons as to why the game wasn't nominated. And it had nothing to do with the damn Xbox tax. Like, oh man, they're just doing that
The
because it's the
damn
Xbox
Xbox
IP.
tax.
If this was a PlayStation game, first of all, if it was a PlayStation game, it wouldn't have released like that. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Like, anyway, I'm not even gonna get into that. But the whole idea of it, just because the publisher is Xbox, that means that automatically reviewers and the voters, they take off points, or they're all in on a conspiracy to all not vote for Starfield. Like, there was a mass email sent out like, hey, nobody vote for Starfield. Nobody put Starfield for your game of the year, because we're gonna make sure that no Xbox published game is gonna ever be nominated or win game of the year. And it's crazy how they all suddenly have amnesia and forget that in 2021 they had 2 game of the year nominations. They had Psychonauts 2 and Deathloop. But for some reason, they swear that Jeff Keighley is out to get Xbox, and there's never been a nomination for an Xbox game, which is which is in fact not true. But and they got Metacritic of the year that year. But again, if it doesn't fit the agenda, then we got to forget about that. That doesn't count. Like, it's so wild to me that is even a defense. I mean, it's not wild because fanboys are going to fanboy at the end of the day, but the fact that they talked about it so much after the nominations came out that Xbox tax was trending was they should have been embarrassed by that shit. But of course, they're
Xbox
rolling
tax
with it.
trending.
Yeah, but they're rolling with it and saying it's true, and you know it, and yeah, it's this. The world is just out to get Xbox. I'm like, but for what purpose? Why would people purposely do that? Like, what's the reason that reviewers and these review sites have to be anti Xbox? There's no rational reason as to why that would be. And I guarantee you, the day Xbox releases a game that's worthy of being Game of the Year nominated, it's going to be nominated. And then but then of course that year they're just gonna say that they're just doing that to save face and give Xbox a W so that they'll get off the trail, like they're trying to get us off the scent, like we still know you guys are biased. Like it's gonna be a whole thing. Like don't let Hellblade 2 get nominated, because then the whole argument's gonna switch. They're just gonna be like, oh
I
well, that's just to make Xbox people shut up. Like, all right, you're right. Everything the media does, they have an agenda. At no point in time will Xbox ever get the recognition they deserve, because the media's out for them, and it doesn't matter how good of a game is. It's just gonna not get the accolades it deserves. Apparently, that's the agenda. So
I have a question for you. Do you
yep.
remember that on Jeff Keighley's show, Halo got nominated for
Player's choice.
Yeah, yeah.
while the game wasn't even out yet?
Yeah, I think it was out for officially like a day, maybe.
No, it wasn't.
or it wasn't.
Only
Or it,
only the multiplayer was out.
yeah.
But the official game, the single player game, wasn't out yet.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember. Yeah.
And they want to talk about Xbox Tax.
Yeah, but that doesn't count, because that was the gamers. The gamers voted for that.
That
That's different.
that was Xbox subsidy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's exactly the subsidy.
So, the only two surprises for me. First one, Alan Wake 2. I've seen mixed bag on this one. Shout out to J-Wag. He put out an entire rant, not review, a rant about this game. And then you have someone like you, Morgan, that enjoyed it. And you're not the only one, and he is not the only one. I've seen people either love it or hate it, and then there is
Yeah.
no in between. And he is coming out of loving the first one, so for him to hate the second one, it's interesting to see.
But yeah, I've seen a lot of people who, are fans of the first game just not like the second game. And I can understand, because, it's, vastly different from the first game. So if you really like the formula for the first game, and you wanted that to continue and you play the second one, I could see why you'd be like, nah, it's just a Resident Evil clone. Like it's just using it to play their play style, and which I mean, hey, if it works, it works. I'm not mad at it, but I can completely understand why some people just aren't feeling it, or the story is just too wild or too out there, and they're just like, Remedy's doing too much. Remedy definitely has a formula they follow, where um, the more outrageous the story, the more confused you are, the better for them. Leave you, you're going to end the game having probably more questions than you did when you started. But that's kind of
Yeah,
Remedy's
that's one
thing.
of the reasons why I think people hate it is ending. I don't know
Yeah.
what happened, but and
Yeah, of
also
course. Yeah.
another thing is the lack of combat. I've seen the people say that the combat is way less compared to the first one.
Yeah, I would agree to that. Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the first game, right? It was set up in chapters, right? And within each chapter, you kind of you had your allotted ammo and batteries. Like in each chapter was like they were separated from each other. So it's like if you used up all the batteries, ammos in the previous chapter, you got, it kind of got restarted on the next chapter. So you had basically, you didn't have to worry about running out for the entire game or being low the entire game, because you could, it basically restarted with each chapter. But with Alan Wake 2, it runs the entire game. There's no kind of restart. What you have is what you have, and you got to search and find it. And so I think because of that, the combat is kind of set up to where you don't necessarily have to use force all the time. Like you can just, you can do it in a way where you can kind of hit them with the light and just kind of run, you know, like, you know, if you're which is good because, you know, like I said, you could be in a situation where you have like no ammo or you have like one battery left and you're just like, shit, like what am I gonna do? How am I gonna get to this next area, you know? And so you just got to kind of run for your life type situation. So I think because of the way the ammo and batteries and stuff like that are set up, they set the combat up to be kind of optional. You know, that's kind of the word I want to use, like kind of optional, where you can use the combat or you can kind of just run for your life type of situation. And I guess that's why some people are like, the combat's kind of like it's here, but it's not really. Like I can agree with that. Like I can agree with that assessment, but it didn't bother me personally. But for people who are, you know, pro combat and really, you know, want to spend the entire game like shooting, I can see why this would be like a slower paced kind of game for them.
Okay, I see. And the dark horse was Resident Evil 4 remake.
Oh yes, that was that's the controversial pick right there. You know, everybody's got to decide, like, should remakes be eligible for Game of the Year or should they not? That's kind of like the big debate.
And remastered. So if Last of Us 2 wins next year,
It's definitely not going to get nominated.
Yeah, it's not getting nominated.
It's not. I need people to stop that, like, because I'm sure they're just trolling, but some of the fanboys, the Xbox
why not?
fanboys.
But why not though?
Bruh,
Because
have you seen the start of next year? Yeah,
Wait, repeat that.
Yeah, plus it's a remaster. It's not even a remake. I mean, Last of Us Part 1 remake didn't even get nominated. Like, it's.
But Last of Us 1 didn't add anything new. This one it does have anything new.
Yeah, but it's a remaster, dude. It's not a remake.
Yeah, it's a remake. Like no remasters that I know of have gotten nominated. Just remakes.
Yeah.
Okay, we will see. I would love for it. I would love for it to be nominated just to see the
absolutely
prize.
not.
Looking at the start of next year, talking about this, could that be nominated?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. I hope they don't. The Last of Us 2 has its accolades. It had its time. Let's give it to somebody else. Like, no. Nominating that, absolutely not. I don't think people should.
Real talk though, whatchamacallit, what did I want to say? Oh shit, I forgot what I want to say. Oh yeah, I know, I remember. Next year is looking tough. Real much. Like Final Fantasy Rebirth, Yudin, 1,000 Heroes.
100 Heroes.
That's gonna be the dark horse for me.
Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
I say like a
motherfucker.
The Infinite, yeah.
That's your goty. Morgan and Innate. I mean Weeb. And for Innate, I'm curious what your goty is gonna be.
Helldivers. And
there's also Helldivers, and not to forget the game that we've been waiting on for so long. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink.
Don't forget Unicorn Overlord is coming out as well.
Which one?
He
Unicorn Overlord.
He forgot what that was. He saw that on my screen the other night, and he was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "It's the Unicorn game from." I know he was like, "Wait, what?"
It's from Vanillaware.
Yeah, if I would have said that,
13 Sentinels developer.
Are you trolling or?
Bruh.
I never heard of this game. Unicorn.
Oh my god, bro! He totally seen this game when they revealed it, and he just like completely forgot.
Unicorn.
Oh my god! I will just show it to you later.
I'm looking it up right now. Oh wow, that's looking interesting.
You literally saw it on my screen last night.
I remember. I thought it was a different name.
Omar,
I thought it had a different name.
I showed it to you last night. Omar completely forgot.
Last night.
Oh yeah, Star Wars Outlaws. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one
Star
too.
Wars Outlaw is
That's looking good.
stupid.
Oh man.
And I
Oh
told you
yeah,
your other
Star Wars
game.
Outlaw. Yo, this next year is gonna be
And
insane.
that's what I'm saying. This is only the first like quarter of next
Exactly.
year. That's like the early. That's like the first 4 or 5 months. That's
I'm
it.
a little scared of 2024 to be honest.
I'm like, we
So,
going into it the same way 2023 with me just spending my
to
wallet getting
mention-
empty back to back to back.
Yeah, I was gonna say we
Say
start
that
this
again.
episode with a shout out to our wallets next year because I hope you work in some OT. I hope you get a raise because we probably all gonna need it.
Yeah.
Stellar Yams.
Yeah.
That's also a game.
LAM. Just like
And
there's so many games I'm already forgetting.
Right of the Ronin. Right of the Ronin.
PlayStation
And
exclusive.
a game I'm super excited about, Dragon Dogma 2.
Yep. That too.
Too many games. Sorry for the shouting, but too many games.
Yo, shout out to Tekken though, because they probably dodged a bullet because this year was already like a fighting game renaissance. So they kind of get next year.
I know the way all the fighting games just came out of nowhere, just like all right.
There is also Sega releasing no, that's Atlas. Persona 3 remake.
Persona, yeah,
the reload.
So too many games.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pace myself.
Anyone have anything else to say about the GOTY Award?
I think they're good picks. I think people, and at the end of the day, people should not take the nominees and the nominations and even the winners so seriously. Like, it's not that serious. If your game is not nominated for Game of the Year, or if your game is not nominated for any category, I promise you can still love that game. It's okay. You can still enjoy that game. You can still hold it close to your heart. Nothing can take that enjoyment that you got from that game away. Okay. Do not let strangers dictate how you should feel. Don't let them dictate whether you should enjoy a game or not. All right. You're going to be okay. There's no need to boycott, we're going to boycott the award show. Not like that would do any effect because, again, Jeff Keighley's award show is like the most viewed award show ever. So it's like it won't matter anyway. So your boycott will be useless. Just go watch it. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the mini premieres that you're gonna see, and keep gaming. It's gonna be okay.
And cry a little bit. It will help.
Cry.
By the way,
I had to laugh really quick because I realized the best game direction category has all the same nominees as the Game of the Year award category.
Oh, damn.
By the way, the biggest game that got snubbed, Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh man. It makes me wonder though, even if the controversy didn't exist, would it have been nominated?
Absolutely.
No.
This game was the best. We sit aside for this one.
Omar, you set yourself the game got boring in the end.
You did say that, Omar. You did say that.
Wait, no.
Yeah.
Omar, we have already established your memory is very unreliable.
Did that? Wait, I need to remember if it got boring at the end or not.
You said it got kind of repetitive and boring at the end. You did say that, Omar.
Kind of, but the story was good, the gameplay was good, the music was good, the voice acting was good, the world building was good, or fantastic. Like, I had a blast with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it sold the most out of every single game here, and it was the most polished. It should have been nominated. Period.
I will give it on the polish. It was good on the polish. I will give it that. I was expecting a lot of bugs, but it was very polished. I'll give it that.
No. We giving them shit, but Morgan has the platinum for it, and we all played it in party chat together.
Because I'm gonna talk my shit. Because I'm pissed off at that damn platinum though. Because look. that was an unnecessary. If I gotta give him some smoke for something, that was the most unnecessary complicated ass, overextended ass platinum. Like there was no need for me to collect 650 fucking pieces of shit in that damn game. Like I don't know whose fucking idea that was. Like, you know what we're gonna make them do? We're gonna make them get every single collectible in this game in order to get the collectibles trophy. That was some straight up bullshit. I think they just got lazy and they were just like, well, what we gonna do for a platinum? I don't know, just make them collect everything. Oh, okay. Like the time, the unnecessary amount of time I spent, like it took some of the enjoyment of that game away from me just because of the amount of time I had to spend trying to look around for all them damn feathers and shit. Like, listen,
Well, no,
You remind me with Assassin's Creed 2 feather.
yeah, this is
where
an
you had to collect
area
them.
where where I wish companies would pay attention to each other a little more and take from each other. And this is one area where I wish people would take from what Ghost did, where like you only needed like 30% of the collectibles for
Wait,
the,
was
for the
that
thing to
Ghost?
pop. Yes, Ghost did that. You only
But
there was
also-
more stuff to collect, but you only
But-
needed like
Yeah,
a
there was-
small percentage.
But
it was-
also Tony Benn did that. I think 50% or 30%, but Tony Benn did that too with Days Gone.
I wouldn't know. That game's trash. But
Hey, lady!
but like I said, it was unfucking necessary. All right. Y'all need to
did.
fix that shit if y'all get a sequel, or y'all need to fix that shit because that shit pissed me off. Like
it was a mess.
but
And
one
another
item.
thing,
I don't mind. That's the thing. I don't mind a difficult platinum. Like, there's nothing wrong. But you know, there's difficult platinums I enjoy. Like, man, I really had to work for that. Like, like having to like a no run or a no death run type of trophy. Like,
yeah,
that's
that was
fine.
fun.
It's
That's
difficult.
fun.
You know, it's difficult as well. But it's like you're working for something. You're working for it, and once you get it, you're like, hell yeah. But that
Yeah.
scavenger hunt shit, no. That's not difficult. That's just fucking annoying.
Or looting needing to finding certain loot where you need to
Yeah.
kill so many enemies. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
you gotta
stopped.
do that. You gotta do this 16 times. Like, why?
Yeah,
guess-
that's
guess
why I
what-
stopped.
Guess what? We come full circle because guess what we're talking about once again?
Game design.
people.
Oh man, back to the game design. I'm telling you. Take notes, man. This shit.
Oh yeah, Thirsty with Raven Queen. She was.
Yeah, see. 30 said Morgan is right again. Dave's gonna suck. Exactly.
Hey,
Thank you, Thrifty.
hey, I'm gonna ban you. Let me see. Ban. This
Days
one,
gone sucks.
give him a timeout and
Yeah.
ban and remove Morgan from Mudfest and give her a ban.
Damn, I lost all privilege.
Yeah. By the way, another game that got not snubbed but like should have been nominated is Star Wars. That was a great game. I had a blast with it.
But I feel for them not voting for it because there was a lot of bugs and glitches with that game at
Yeah.
launch.
Star Wars needed what
It
you
was
call
a
it.
good game under all the bugs and glitches, but my God,
I know.
that was a pain in the ass. Like,
Yeah. One quest
Still
line
had
for me
less,
was
still had less bugs and frames gone though.
oh, there we go. We can agree on that.
yeah,
Frames gone.
that's fair. That's fair. No, that's absolutely fair. But the difference is Days Gone didn't give me game breaking glitch, while Star Wars did, where I
See,
couldn't
Days
even
Gone,
finish the side
actually-
quest.
Yeah, it actually did for I don't know, I guess
Well-
it's not game breaking, but because I kept falling into like that one mission where you had to go in the cave and like get the zombies, where the fuck they're called in that game.
Mhm.
But the puddle that's in front of that cave was apparently a portal to hell because I kept falling into the puddle and falling through the world. Like every time I tried to get, and I couldn't get into the fucking cave because the puddle was in front of the cave.
I think
Okay.
Insomniac put that puddle in there.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, the puddle cave.
Okay.
They put their
No,
puddles in
no.
there.
But
To
yeah,
be fair, the only game breaking bug I had in the game was that elevator, but you could what was you had to jump
Oh, yeah.
to avoid that bug.
Yeah.
By the way, very quick before I end it, because we've been going through for a very long time.
man.
With Insomniac, shout out to them. They created a masterpiece. With Starfield, do you think its game design is mad outdated? This is why I didn't even get nominated, especially with the loading screen and the structure where you can't even drive, you need to walk. Nate?
Uh, I mean, to be honest, man, I just, like I said, I think it's just what I said earlier. It just had too many shortcomings in a year when a lot of games just didn't. Like, you just have too many damn near flawless performances and amazing games, and that just ensured that all the shortcomings it did have got amplified, and they just weren't in a league where they could compete. Like I said, still a good game. Like I said, a game I highly recommend, especially for fans to play. I enjoyed it, but it's just not enough, man. Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's ultimately
Morgan,
why
you
it
want
is.
to say anything?
Oh, I can't really speak on the game design. I haven't definitely played enough to know
Okay.
what it looks like. Yeah.
Weeb?
I haven't played the game at all, so but if
Okay.
if it's
Okay.
like any typical Bethesda game, yeah, I can see why.
Mm. Then,
The
with that
Bethesda
being
slander.
Yep,
with that being said,
Bethesda stank. Huh?
Oh, sorry, Omar. I do want to say one thing though.
go ahead.
I tweeted this out earlier, like a few days ago, but I was just like, listen, shout out even if our like we all love Spider-Man, and I know, and I know it's not gonna win, but I was like saying, just, and goes for all the nominees, like just being nominated this year in a year where there were so many games, so many great games that nobody really knew what the six was going to be like. There was like they had maybe two or three games that they knew, like, okay, these are definitely going to be in there, but the rest is a toss up because there was just so many great games that came out, and it was really anybody's battle. It was just so many candidates, potential candidates this year. So shout out to
I'm
the
surprised
nominees.
16 didn't even get nominated.
Look, we not. Did it deserve it though?
They
No.
don't, but continue.
And it's like, if I just like, shout out to the nominees though, because like you were the best six, okay, out of many games that people loved and praised and talked about this year. And so the fact that you even got a nomination should be celebrated, like, because
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. This is a year where it was hard to pick your top six, where it was very competitive. And I think you should definitely, you got to give the nominees their flowers for just being nominated, because that means you stood out of many great games. So yeah, shout out to the
Mm-hmm.
nominees.
Yeah. At the very end, shout out to gaming at all. Like, it's our hobby. We have fun with it, but we also play it. We don't just talk about it. And that's all for tonight. Where people can find you?
Crying in a corner because I'm old now.
No, that
Stop
Viper,
it. Stop
Viper
it.
Reap, that Viper Reap spot. Take a different
Oh
spot.
no, he slithers in the corner. That's different. Uh,
He said I'm crying in
you
it.
you can find me on Twitter for as long that still exists.
Mm,
Thanks to Elon.
mm-hmm.
As the Weep Sheriff at Infinite Rhizome, and well, I guess on YouTube, but don't really do anything here except for this. Yeah, Other Nation.
Otter Nation.
Morgan, where people can find you?
Yes, people can also find me on Twitter, at Chill Bandit. I'll be on there, gaming, talking about gaming, tweeting about gaming. you know,
Actually
that's what
completing
the
your games.
completing games. All right,
Everything gaming related, I see.
everything, and I'm gonna be talking. I'll talk shit as well. Sometimes
As
I
you
get my
should.
troll on.
As you
But-
should. You play more games than most people that talk about them.
Yeah,
So-
but we know at the end of the day, we're gonna keep it. We keep it about gaming. We keep it about
Yeah.
gaming. So if you want to, follow me, and we can talk more about gaming. I'll add you on PSN. I don't post my PSN, but for people who want it, I'll give it to them. But yeah, just keep it gaming and Otter Nation.
Nation.
Innate, where people can find you.
Yeah, on Twitter at the real innate. Always gaming as much as I possibly can.
I can't believe you.
Hey,
Gaming don't exist.
I try to convince people, but they just don't believe me in all the screenshots. But yeah, that and anime, of course. But
Oh yeah, Initial D, yeah.
yeah, all the good stuff. With immaculate taste in gaming and anime, if I say so myself, because I do. But yeah, again, great stream. It's been an amazing year for gaming for tons of people, whether you
Yes,
like
sir.
RPGs, Souls-like games, driving games, whatever you like, man. It was
Something for everybody.
Yeah, which is crazy, and it's looking like at least for my people, the RPG players, next year looks like it's gonna start treating us well again. So shout out to us eating good again. Provided we don't destroy the planet like we find inevitable, and like every apocalyptic movie tells us we will do. God willing, we will all be here next year, or whatever you believe in, or nothing. But yeah, man, it's just been amazing, and I hope that we are all here next year at the end of the year and get to say we enjoyed another great year in gaming, and we're all healthy. And that's it.
Real talk, AI is gonna take over, so there is no next year. That's it. This is the end of the year.
Which is ironic, because we watched The Creator last night, which is about
yeah.
AI taking over.
And Pluto, which is semi-AI taking over.
No, it isn't. But is the Creator any good?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good.
All right.
Yeah, it's on the Plex.
So yeah, shout out to everyone that came through. Chat and crew. Genuinely had a blast with this one. 1 week didn't have a show cause life. But genuinely had a blast with this one. You can find me at Caravan_Shop on Twitter, and Vitamin G podcast every Monday 8 p.m. Eastern time. Hit that like button, share the stream out, and see you next week. Hopefully, you can end it.
Peace.